but they'll never take our Independence Day.
You, the people, have the power. The power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world.
We don't sleep to dream, we sleep to build stamina, energy to do our thing. Get your camera up. This show is about to begin, so sit down and buckle it in. Let's go!
Hey, my name is Brian, and that is John, and my freaking image is on. Sorry, guys. Boom. There he goes. That is John, and that is Shane, and you are watching the BRANE Show. Going a little bit slow today. Sorry, guys. I woke up a little relapsed with my chest illness. Took me a minute to get my voice right so I didn't sound like Freddy Krueger trying to kill you at night. How you guys doing today, man?
Tell you what, John's got some sexy legs.
Sound like Freddy Krueger trying to... Yeah, I'm fixing that. I'm fixing that. I forgot to put
I've been working out. They've banned me from wearing that outfit.
I forgot to put the chat up. Thanks for the heads up.
Bring it on the show.
That's my wallpaper of my wife as Supergirl, and when the chat isn't there, it just looks like John has the sexiest thighs of all time.
I mean, of the three of us, arguably, John probably does have the sexiest.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah, we will put that to a poll at some point as well.
Yeah, we're gonna have to.
It's freaked Brian out now because every time he looks at his wife now, he sees my face.
I'm like, oh yeah, baby. God dang it.
We are much quieter than you are, according to the chat. So heads up.
You are much quieter than me?
Apparently so.
John and I are.
Oh, okay. I'll fix
Whatever
that.
that means.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
But I can talk louder if you want.
I could go Barry White if you want me to.
That was the least Barry White thing I've ever heard, John. And I know because my son is obsessed with playing his music right now. I don't know why.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he is really into...
But only specifically when you do a show. It's when my kid loves playing piano, but only when I'm doing our show.
In the middle of doing. Well, I am segregated from the house, so I don't get to no more.
Must be nice.
It is actually very.
Must be nice.
So, what are we talking about today?
Oh, you tell me.
Oh, you want me to go through a list?
Yeah, go ahead.
I got you today. If you guys saw the thumbnail, which I will say, Brian and I were up late last night working on that thumbnail together. I did absolutely zero work on it other than tell him your thumbnail sucks, do better.
Well, no, what Shane did was, yes, that's okay. Nope, that's too racist.
Yeah, exactly.
No, you're going the wrong way. That's even more racist. Now pull it back. That's what Shane did.
Is it true that a certain race of people like chicken? Should you put it on the thumbnail? I'm not sure, but it was done. So yeah,
I like KFC. What is racist about that?
It would have been better. It would have been more obvious if she was holding a bucket of KFC.
Yeah, I thought about that actually.
I know how you were doing. You were like putting it on the down low.
Right.
So to be clear, if you did see the thumbnail, you come here today. We are going to be talking about the Ryan Coogler X-Files reboot that is now full speed ahead, and what that means and why, and is it something we want or something that we don't want? So we're going to be talking about that today. We're also going to be talking about the Warner Brothers buyout by Skydance, Paramount, and Netflix. We'll be talking more about that. If you didn't hear the news, Netflix did back out. It's very interesting. It's become a political. It's becoming a political volleyball if it hadn't already.
Well, yeah, not just in the business world, but socially too. It's separating people that are clearly left and right.
It is, and honestly, entertainment has always kind of had a little bit of a separation, but this is creating a huge dividing line.
Oh, Malcolm X-Files! I could have done. I didn't think about it.
Oh man, that would have been good.
Oh,
let me tell you,
we need writers. We need writers.
Yeah,
dude, we're gonna bring you in on the round table so we can discuss these things. That would be good. Although I do like the thumbnail quite a bit.
Yeah.
Right. I'm a huge fan of the thumbnail as it is, but that would have been great too.
Yeah, it would have been great.
Also, we're going to be talking about Anthropics and how they completely pissed off Trump and what that means, and with AI and everything going forward.
AI.
We're going to talk about John Campea's ridiculous crash out over the potential sale of Warner Brothers.
Another one.
Yeah. At this point, there needs to be a website called campeascrashouts.com. God.
He what did he call it? The buyout to those Trump bitch boys.
That's what he said. That's literally what he said. Yeah.
Which is interesting. We're going to be talking about Starfleet Academy and the latest. Hey, if you guys didn't know, our favorite or unfavorite redhead is back from Star Trek Discovery in this week's episode. So we'll be talking about that.
Hey, she's lost weight too. So.
Yeah, I don't know how she was going to have to keep going.
Well, yeah, she couldn't fit through the door. So
we got that, and also the Boy Scouts have been put on notice by the War Department, and we will be talking about that today, among so many other things. It's going to be a fantastic show. We're so glad you're here with us. Let's kick some ass.
Yeah, baby!
All right.
Just so you know, the guy on the far left, his name is John. He has a channel called Sci-Fi Chronicles.
Woo, woo.
Sci-Fi Chronicles 79, SFC 79. And you can find him in the link in the description. You can also search it up. When you search up Sci-Fi Chronicles, there are two channels that come up. One sucks, and one's John's. And the one
clarifying that.
The one that's John's is like a purple logo, so. But the link is in the description. Go check out John's stuff. He's doing a lot of the sci-fi stuff. We cover pop culture in general, like whatever's being talked about. But John tries to focus specifically on science fiction. So don't forget that. Also, sorry, I almost forgot. If you want to support us, it's real easy. Okay? I'll show you how. You can go to mixtees.com. Or mxtz.co, but mixtees.com works too. Click on buy anything there and you're supporting us, but if you explicitly buy something from the BRANE Show, we will know that you are specifically buying something to keep us fed. And I know we look like giant people and we don't need to eat anymore, but we have other bills to pay that aren't food related. Okay, so I guess we should just start it up, dude. Wait, do we have a giveaway today? We do, right?
That's really up to you. I have not been choosing whether we're doing the giveaway or not. It's totally up to you. You have all the goodies at your house.
All right, I'm doing it. I'm doing it live.
Perking it up, everybody.
So this is our grab bag. This is all the. This is like random. So we have a bunch of stuff that we've overprinted over the years, and this is the stuff that goes in our mystery grab bag. It's 3 shirts or 2 hoodies, depends on what we have in the shop. So as long as we make enough in Super Chats to cover shipping, the highest Super Chatter will get the grab bag. And I always include a bunch of other crap inside the grab bag. Matt McGee will tell you that. He'll tell you.
Let me ask you a question. Do guys, go back to that picture real quick. Mm-hmm. Do guys look at that image and go, there's only shirts for girls here? You think there's a chance that that's possible?
No.
Don't you dare try and turn that.
Literally the default style is men's shirts.
Yeah, I understand that. But
if I go in there tomorrow and there's a trans person on that picture, mate, I'm going to be talking to you too.
We really should up our game.
Yeah, what is this, Star Trek? All right, man.
Interesting.
Tilly Tuesday.
Tilly Tuesday.
Tilly lost a lot of weight, bro.
She did. She did lose a lot of weight.
Ozempic.
You think it's she hasn't, but she doesn't look like she has like the Ozempic face.
Oh, I'm still seeing it on the chin area if you look carefully.
Really?
And I've done a lot of analysis.
Is that where she's giving her shots? Your chin?
Yeah.
No. So people that do like Ozempic, especially if they do too much, like actors when they do too much too quickly because they're trying to lose weight for some like red carpet thing and they want to essentially starve themselves without the work. That's what Ozempic is. It makes you feel not hungry, right? Changes your relationship with food. Well, when people overtake it, they're basically doing it to starve themselves the way they normally would have done it in the 90s, but this time without the negative side effects of being hungry.
Without as much suffering, right?
Right. So, well, when they do that, they end up looking like they're sick almost. Like they have some kind of
Yeah, haggard.
Like a haggard. Yeah, haggard. They look haggard and sick. Their skin is like loose, and they look older. And you're like, what happened to that dude? Well, yeah, they're skinnier, but now they look like they're 55 or something, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's not just Ozempic. That's anybody. Like if you get a weight loss surgery, same thing happens. So anytime
Right, but
you lose weight faster than you should, you end up with that.
Right. So when I was like 390 pounds, right, back in 2015 or something, I forgot. But I was like, my heaviest was like almost 400 pounds, and I lost weight. I lost about 200 pounds over 2.5 years, right? And that seemed really fast for people. And the way I did it was I went on keto, and I was eating primarily and I had a calorie deficit, and I was disciplined, hyper disciplined, and I was working out, and I was walking every day, and I was eating almost exclusively meat. And within about 2.5 years, I went down to a skinny guy, and right before the pandemic. And then I used the pandemic as an excuse to start eating pizza again, and I gained all 80 pounds back. But
everyone did.
I didn't look sick. Like, I didn't have stretch marks. I didn't look wrinkled. In fact, I look younger. And that's because I think that when you lose weight the normal way, your body has a chance to, like, reshape itself, you know?
Yeah.
But when you lose weight quickly, there's no chance for your skin to, like, shrink back and, like, the elasticity to return.
Yeah, if you guys want to see what Skinny Brian looks like, just go back to our old pickle party. It's on this channel. You can go back to our old live pickle party videos we used to do when we used to cover the Orville.
Yeah.
And you can see him dancing around like a wild man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, with me, I'm trying to lose weight at the moment, and I'm doing it as men have done it for decades. I do cardio, I do weights, and I put on my complete Rocky collection repeatedly to keep me going. That's it. That's all you need, and you're done.
Rocky's
Dun, 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 dun.
That's motivating, right? You get
The music starts to transform. Dun, 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 dun. What version of Rocky is this, John?
There's still stuff in the basement.
The motivating one. Yeah.
Somebody brought up the fact that what's up with this Jim Carey clone running around. We will talk about that later. I did send Brian a thing on a video. There's somebody out there who says they're Jim Carey, kind of sort of looks like him, but doesn't sound like him. It's weird. Yeah. Something's happened to Jim Carey, guys, and we need to talk about it.
Lizard people are taking over everybody.
You know what's funny is like there's like an ongoing theory about them cloning celebrities.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. And they made a movie about it. Oh my God, I left the freaking picture up.
But aren't you meant to make them brighter?
They made a movie about it called They Cloned Tyrone or something like that. And I gotta say, man, it's like I don't believe in it, but a lot of people leave for a period of time, let's say like a few years, and when they come back, they look totally different. Like not just like, oh, they got 2 or 3 years older. Like their eye colors change, their ears are in a different place, like weird stuff.
Their ears are in a different
right, dude.
Invasion of the Body Snatchers, bro.
Coming out their nose.
And like there's no surgery that changes the position of your ears. So it gets a little confusing when, Jamie Foxx gets sick and we don't see him for 2 years, and when he comes back, he looks like a dude that could be related to Jamie Foxx, but not Jamie Foxx.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he comes back and goes, "It's ridiculous. I wasn't cloned." Like, we didn't ask you that, bro. Why are you coming out with that first thing?
No, I do believe the rumors were someone was trying to kill him, though, right? That's what was. Yeah, it's just weird. Anyways, listen, if you're going to clone people from Hollywood, do us a favor. Just make them less political when they come back. Okay, how about that?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's why they clone them, so that they toe the line.
Yeah, or it's a side effect.
Think about this:
they've got Ruffalo syndrome when they come back.
Like, what if you're like a hyper leftist, right? And you're like, okay, that guy's saying the right things, but what about the ones that start to like wake up and start to ask questions, and they have all this influence because they're actors with cool movies people like them, right? And they can't cancel them because they're too. Some people are beyond the point of cancellation.
It's true,
unless they do something horrible like rape a kid or something. Like you can't cancel them for having an opinion after a certain point. Well, when they start to exhibit those right-wing tendencies and that sort of, wait a minute, wake up speak, I think maybe the smartest play would be to silence them somehow. But you can't kill them all, because then it'll be obvious you're killing all the right-wing people. Right? So
There's so few, it would be noticeable.
So yeah. So what if you just replace them?
This would be a great sci-fi. This would be a great sci-fi series. I'm going to put a pilot out.
It's called Invasion of the Body Snatchers. You should watch it.
Yeah.
Movie, and there was a remake. Yes,
but they're specified specifically to go after the Hollywood clones.
What is going on with your camera, Domi? I
don't know.
What's
Are you
You're floating in space right now. What's happening?
They're coming for me. They're trying to pull me through the floor.
Bro, you fixed your camera. Now you're like in the upper left. Oh my
it
God!
Like he fell. Did you see that?
Look at him. He's like flying around the screen, dude. This is crazy. Look at it. Do it again. Oh, your background's digital. Oh.
This is the first time we realized your background was digital.
I thought it was real.
It looks real. It looks good.
Did you really? Yeah, it's great.
Mine's real.
I'm always trying to, psych you guys out on a show. You're
freaking us out, John. Knock it out. Yeah. All right, let's get this show rolling.
All right, guys. So today we are talking about Ryan Coogler's X-Files reboot. So yes, Ryan Coogler, the dude that did Black Panther and Sinners, is now doing an X-Files reboot. You got to ask yourself the question. Of course, the guy who made all black movies is not going to make an X-Files reboot with all kinds of racial bent characters. No, that's what's happening.
I just want to know if he's going to do something finally that Michael B. Jordan's not in. I'm just curious.
No. What you don't know. So what they said here is Daniel Deadwyler is starring, right?
Yes.
But she's probably playing, I'm assuming, Scully. And what you don't know is Michael B. Jordan is definitely playing Mulder.
Well, and here's the
100%.
Remember, now we could be wrong because they're calling it a reboot. And sometimes I think that we are the only ones who know what a damn reboot actually means. So if you reboot something, you're redoing it with the same characters. That's a reboot, right? If you're just going to make a new version of X-Files with different characters, which is possible, I guess, that would be that's not a reboot. It's a
So there's reboot and revival. Revival is when you bring the same exact show back, and the only thing that's happened is time has passed, and you're using the characters and the established canon from the previous, show. Like when they recently brought back Scrubs. So Scrubs is back on TV.
Yeah.
And it's a revival because they didn't even change the name. It's not Scrubs 2026. No, it's literally just Scrubs.
And they wiped out the last season as well, which is
the only difference is it took place 25 years after the 8th season. So that's a revival. A reboot is when you take a show that has been off the air and you completely and you just use the name, like Quantum Leap, right? Well, Quantum Leap is supposed to be a revival, but it was really a reboot, right? Right?
Yeah.
So you take it, you use the name, and the name is pretty. And I know canonically, Quantum Leap 2023 or whatever it was is a revival, but considering what we saw, that's the closest thing to a reboot I've ever seen. But there's plenty of shows where they just recreate the show, completely different characters, different ideas.
Same characters, reboot, same characters redone, right?
Well, same characters, different actors, different. They don't have to work with the established canon anymore.
Well, they don't, but they usually use the same characters for a reboot. Like when Battlestar Galactica.
Well, they use the same characters for a revival too. I mean.
Well, no, revival continues the story.
Right, continues the story, and a reboot starts it all over.
But it's not new actors playing the characters generally in a revival.
No, it would be the original actors. Yeah,
it would be the original actors. So what I'm saying is like Battlestar Galactica had a TV series. Then when the TV series came back again, they rebooted the series with new actors.
Yes, perfect example.
The same characters.
Battlestar Galactica. Yeah.
Now Ryan Coogler here has already cast his black actress star for the show. And if we get into the article, a couple things, I have a feeling this is not going to be a reboot. I have a feeling this is going to be a revival right?
Yeah.
Because he's already talked to Gillian Anderson.
Yeah.
I don't know about reprising her role, but in some way he had discussions with her, meaning that if she were to come back to the show, it really couldn't be a reboot. If her character is back,
I disagree.
in some way.
Have you seen Ghostbusters 2016?
You mean the Girl Busters?
The Girl Busters. Remember, they were talking to Dan Aykroyd and Bill.
Well, they came back and played different characters.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, is immediate failure for your IP.
Right.
So if you bring legacy characters back and have them play different characters, you might as well go into a closet and fuck yourself in the face, because it's not going to turn out well for you.
Yeah, I would have loved to have been in the room when Kevin Feige was like, "Okay, check us out. I have a great idea. Let's do Ghostbusters, but imagine this: an all-girl Ghostbusters team." Someone was like, yeah, girl power is really cool right now. I guess that would work." He goes, "Oh yeah, but we can also shit all over the original Ghostbusters. We'll make fun of them, and we'll even hire the original actors to play characters that they push around." Huh? What do you think?
Well,
Someone was like,
"Well,
Paul, I don't think that's a good idea. You're fired. Get out of here."
Well, to be fair, Bill Murray did not want to come back as his character, and he has quite a bit of clout. So there's a whole bunch of, screwing around going there. But let's talk about the X-Files reboot, because this is more interesting. And what we know about Ryan Coogler, let's be very clear. Ryan Coogler is a very good director. Okay? This dude knows how to make movies.
He does.
Okay. The thing is he does have an agenda as well. He has been propped up as the upcoming or outgoing, the new voice of the Black entertainment figure, right? And he's become the guy who's going to, along with Jordan Peele, although Jordan Peele seems to have fallen off quite a bit.
Because Jordan Peele stopped towing the black line and started making movies that didn't just have black characters.
Because he wanted to succeed. And initially it was like, cool, these are scary movies. Everybody loves scary movies. And yes, it's all black people, but it was still good.
Right.
Just like Sinners is a really good movie, mostly black people, but Sinners is unique. It's a new story. It's a new IP. X-Files is not. So when you go back, and we've done this time and time and time again before, it just doesn't work. If you're going to go back and take another IP and you're going to try to diversify it and change it in some way to stamp your DEI label on it, your diversity label on it, it's just not going to turn out well. So I don't know. What do you guys have?
Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's funny. I kind of heard this same variation on a similar theme for how many times over the last few years, where they try and revive, something that was loved by so many people. And like you said, Shane, they go through the DEI lens of it. We've got to make it for a modern day audience. This is not going to work. And the reason being is the original X-Files was lightning in a bottle. You had Chris Carter, who was into the paranormal and researched it all, that was passionate about that subject matter. You've now got people that are doing it that aren't passionate about that subject matter. It's not going to work. Duchovny and Anderson were perfect casting as far as I'm concerned. You're not going to have that anymore. And I will say exactly what I said for X-Files season 9. As much as I liked, Robert Patrick coming into X-Files, you cannot do X-Files without Fox Mulder. And that is the problem that they're going to have with this show. It's going to crash and burn. I wouldn't be surprised if they have a new cigarette smoking man, but they'll tell him it's not acceptable these days to smoke, so you're going to have a lollipop.
No, he's going to have a vape. He'll be vaping.
No, it'll be a stick of gum.
Yeah. Well, to give you some background on this thing here, so you guys got to take a look at Ryan Coogler. He doesn't have a tremendous amount of experience. I know we hear his name a lot, but he really hasn't been doing a lot. If you go back and you take a look at his directing, Creed is when he really hit it first. Back in 2015, they get together and decide they want to do a new Rocky movie, right? But they decide they're going to follow Apollo Creed's son, right? Michael B. Jordan. Surprise. Okay.
Yeah.
And so he does Creed. And then after Creed, which was super successful, and went on to make 2 more Creed movies, which he wasn't involved in, by the way. He just did the first one. He ends up doing Black Panther, right?
Yeah.
And Black Panther back in 2018 was, boom, earth shattering, the movie of all, it was like, it made so much damn money. It was, the first look at Wakanda, and he did a really good job with that movie. We can admit it was a really good movie. Did a great job. He ended up doing Wakanda Forever. Not as good of a movie, but it's a bummer because his main actor from Black Panther died. And I think Wakanda Forever probably would have been a better movie had we not lost Black Panther. And then, of course, in 2025, he ends up doing Sinners, right? Which is a historical vampire movie that, which is really good. The music's fantastic. The acting's good. It's a good, solid movie. Is it 16 Academy Award nominations good? No, it's not. And he got that because of, bringing diverse voices, diverse people into movies. That's a priority for Hollywood. And so therefore he was rewarded for it. So why wouldn't Ryan Coogler continue bringing this his same mentality into everything he produces? He's being rewarded generously for everything that he touches. And so he's decided, it's been a couple of years, he's been wanting to do X-Files. He ended up focusing on Sinners, but he really wanted to. He's an X-Files fan. No problem. I mean, that's cool. There's a lot of X-Files fans. He's an X-Files fan. The problem is when you bring in this, when you try to reboot something that was extraordinarily popular, like John said, lightning in the bottle, you're already dealing with an uphill battle.
Right.
But to top it off, Ryan Coogler isn't even show running this show. He's just putting it together. Okay, it's actually Jennifer Yale that's going to be show running the show. So it's not even Ryan Coogler's show. He's just putting it together.
And who is Jennifer Yale? Jennifer
Yale is a new voice. She's been mostly a producer, right? She's a writer. She started out as a writer, and she's mostly a producer now. And the things she produced are things like the Outlander TV series, which is kind of a girl romance novel TV series.
Yeah,
just what you need for X-Files.
It's Outlander, and it's rated like R for nudity. But if you were to watch it, the only nudity in the entire show is male nudity, and you're like, what's happening right now?
Right. The TV series C with Jason Momoa, which had 16 episodes.
That's the Apple one.
What's that?
Yeah,
that's the Apple series, isn't it?
The Apple series. Yeah. And then she did the Copenhagen test, which is brand new, executive producer. So there's actually, they all actually have really good reviews, really good things that have happened. So she might be qualified, but here's the deal: she's never been a showrunner. Right. So this will be her first time being a showrunner, and the question is going to be, what is she going to do? She's going to take Ryan Coogler's vision and she's going to run with it. And listen, I'm not one to say you shouldn't have female showrunners, but what happens when you have a female showrunner that's been emboldened by a Hollywood shoving female Mary Sue-ness, I would say, into the fabric of our universe? Yeah. Well, she's going to be empowered. The same thing that's happening on Starfleet Academy, right?
Yep.
She's empowered and influenced by someone who celebrates DEI.
Yeah,
and so she might not have the talent that Coogler does in order to. So Coogler can go all in on diverse casts and all that, right? But he's also super talented, so it works. Like, people still watch him. But if you're not talented and you go all in on diversity and like sort of racist overtones, then it falls flat. And so if she's promoted and she's sort of influenced by someone with that mentality, but she doesn't have the talent, it won't work.
Do you know what? I'd actually give them props if the series came out and it was actually about that they were diving deep into the conspiracy of DEI and where it came from. That would be an X-Files episode and a season arc that would be worth watching.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that would be really interesting. So, I mean, it's very interesting to take a look at this and whether or not, A, it's going to be a reboot, How much Ryan Coogler's actually going to be involved? Is
Right.
what they want? What he's doing this for Hulu, Disney, by the way, which he ended up doing. How well did Ironheart turn out, guys? For Disney.
Oh yeah, it was divine. 5 out of 5, best time of my life. And it was actually
not going to be around again,
guys. It was it was atrociously bad. If you have not
produced that,
okay, if you have not watched Ironheart, can I just please? I suggest you do, because it's so bad that it starts to pass the point of bad and become entertainment only because of how horrible it is. It's so bad that it starts to become funny because of how ridiculously woke it is. It starts to become almost a parody of itself. It pushes the line all the way to the edge, and you're just waiting for it to become parody. And then there's some trans Asian person comes on screen and is hacking without even typing on the keys because his nails are too long. And you're like, oh, that's it. There it is. They've gone over the edge. It's over.
Well, this is the one and only real production credit outside of the stuff he's done that shows us what Ryan Coogler will do as a producer. Like, this shows you what his mentality is and how he's going to do it. So if you think that X-Files is going to be a lot different than Ironheart, well, just because you're a fan of, why did you love X-Files? You loved X-Files because the intrigue and the conspiracy theories and the characters you fell in love with, right? He has to compete with that, but he's got an Ironheart mentality when he's making things.
Right.
So the question is going to be, what are we going to end up with? I have a feeling that this is going to be an incredible disaster, just based on what I've already seen. Now, if Ryan Coogler was like show running this and directing it himself, despite knowing it's going to be very diverse, I might say, well, at least it's going to look interesting. At least it's probably going to be pretty
right, because Coogler's style is very interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
The only other thing he produced other than that was a documentary called Anthem, which was basically his attempt to redo the national anthem. So,
really?
He was, yes.
Wait. He was trying to change. Let me guess. Because it was racist.
Okay. Well, basically the documentary Anthem explores modern American identity by attempting to reimagine the national anthem, aiming to create a new inclusive song.
Oh, yep, that's why.
So guys, what is Ryan Coogler's goal? And let me tell you something. If I was a black man who grew up invisible in entertainment for the most part, most of my race was, maybe this is the same way I would be as well. Perhaps I would also only want to do it this way. I mean, black entertainment television, BET, came out and rocked it on
that's
its
not
own
that's not the reason. Ryan Coogler's 39 years old, bro. That
My
means
point
he
is-
grew up in the 90s like we did. He did not experience any of that. He probably grew up in the most inclusive time for his race. BET was more popular than ever in the 90s.
To be fair, he grew up with parents from the 60s and 70s. Okay.
Right.
And so he has their world view. And now he's being empowered with his vision. He's being empowered to do this.
But it's not those are not his lived experiences. His lived experiences is the least racist time in human history. The 90s and the 2000s were the least racist time in history.
Right. But his parents are telling, you know what I'm saying? You take on your parents. A lot of times you take on your parents'
Ideology.
values.
Right.
So there's still a generation. Now, had we had the people's experience, our racial experiences from the 90s and the 2000s pitched forward by the African Americans who lived during that time, now pass that on to their children. If we hadn't had this hiccup in the 2000 teens and now 2020s of racial problems, we might have taken a step forward in racial.
Yeah, the left pushed it way too far. They pushed it too far because they realized. I believe this. I solely believe that the powers that be, the left, believe that they know that their power, a healthy portion of their power, exists in us being angry with each other, and that's not just the left. That's the left and the right, but specifically politicians, the ruling class, specifically the ruling class. Their power exists in us being mad at each other. And the easiest way to get black people mad at everyone else is to stir up racist stuff.
It is.
Black Lives Matter and like really get them going. Have TV shows that set them off. Create content that is incendiary for the purpose of exciting them to a point where they do something that triggers something else, that triggers something else, that triggers something else, and here we are.
Well, I'm so sick of this era. I really am, guys. I want us to get to a point again where it's just make good TV and movies. That's what I want to get back to, because it is insufferable now. We're having it with Academy at the moment. It's the latest example of it. But this X-Files reboot, I already know what I'm going to get from the lead that's already been cast. She's going to be the insufferable know-it-all who puts everybody else down, or the males down in the series. She's going to know everything about everything. And then we know that they're going to go out and they're going to do their investigations. There's going to be some issues where they'll find a conspiracy that's going on. They'll twist the conspiracy arc from what it once was. They'll then have monsters that were in the original series because they will not be able to come up with any new concepts themselves. That's what we're going to get from this new X-Files series. I agree with you, Shane. This is going to crash and burn. And this is why maybe the studios are actually starting to see a little bit of sense, whereby they're going to the pilot setup like they used to, where they're basically going, right, okay, we'll give you a pilot. Okay, that's not doing good at all. We're going to cancel it, as opposed to giving them full, what was it used to be, 2 to 3 seasons during this crazy era?
Yeah, 2 season buys or whatever.
Yeah, John, what I'll tell you is, and I love what you said there. The one thing that I will say is it may not be a completely diverse cast, because the person who's going to be cast opposite our main black female character is somebody, and it says in here, quote, somebody who is extraordinarily different than her. The main characters will be extraordinarily different from each other. Now, what does that mean? Like from the eyes of Ryan Coogler, right? It's going to be a black woman and a white male vampire guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean, no, that's true. Like we've seen what when he wants to write and direct, his version of extraordinarily different would be a white vampire and a black gangster. Those are the two differences.
There you go. So chances are you are going to have a black and a white main characters in here. If what he's saying about the two characters being extraordinary. Now, could they just be different in their mentality? Sure, but I doubt he would have said that here if that was the case. He makes a point to say they are very different people. So what does that mean? It probably means, he has to be somewhat sensitive to the idea that he can't just have all black people in everything that he does, because it won't work. Like we've seen it in the past. Harlem Nights, a great movie with Eddie Murphy and a bunch of the greatest black actors from their generation. It was still in a little bubble, right? And in order for it to take over the world, which is what Ryan Coogler wants to do, he's going to have to let the white seep in a bit. It's just going to have to happen in order for it to work. So we'll see.
Well, another thing too is that this woman that's playing the main character, she was also in a movie called The Harder They Fall. It was like a Netflix release. It was all black people. It was Idris Elba was pretty much the main character. I mean, he wasn't the main character, but he might as well have been, because it was also what's that guy? What's the guy who played Jonathan Majors? I believe. I think.
Cancel Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, cancel Jonathan Majors. Yeah, Jonathan Major played the main character, but the real reason you watched it was for Idris Elba, who played like the bad guy.
Well, and hey, check it out. Those are some pretty well-known names. I don't remember that movie. Might be a Netflix problem, but
Well, no, I mean, there's so many people in this movie. Like every single black actor was in this movie. Damon Wayans Jr.
That's the problem. You gotta. When push comes to shove, I'm not so sure that all of America wants to sit down and just watch black content.
Right.
I just don't think that's the case. It'll never be the case.
So it's not just black content. Let me finish real quick. It's not just black content, because also she was the LGBT representation in that movie. By the way, I like the movie. I like the movie a lot. I like how slick it was. Very Ryan Coogler.
I'm gonna watch it. It sounds good to me.
I don't think Ryan Coogler made it, but it had the same style.
And
with
he
like
didn't make it.
Yeah, with all the music and all that, it was the same style. But this actress, played the LGBT representation in that show, in that movie, and so just to add another layer to it, the main
perhaps that's the difference.
The main character that they cast, the main character is the person who plays the hyper sort of racist LGBT representation and a bunch of other stuff she's in. So maybe the difference is it's a straight white man and a gay black female. That would be honestly, if you want, that is pretty much two sides.
Or a straight black man and a gay black female. Is that what you said?
That's what I said. Yeah.
Straight black man. Okay, yeah, that could be the difference.
Yeah, it could be
interesting.
We'll see.
It's gonna.
When I looked up her IMDb, I was like, oh, I remember this chick. Not a bad actress, but also not a good one. It's sort of like a blink and you miss kind of actress. Like, it didn't bother me, but she didn't like stand out. Unlike the saloon character in that show, who actually did stand out, and obviously Idris Elba, people go, I don't want a James Bond if they're going to respend it. I'll take it if it's Idris Elba. Give me Idris Elba and I'll take it. I'm sorry. I'll be honest with you.
Not for me.
Well, not for you, because you have a deeper tie to James Bond. But Idris Elba is such a great actor. Like,
I am Bond, mate.
I would literally watch him in anything, dude. I'll be honest.
He's too old for Bond now.
No, but when they were talking about him coming in as Bond, he wasn't too old. This was back in like when he was playing Black Superman in that Fast and the Furious ripoff movie. Wait, it was a Fast and Furious movie, I think.
Well, again, I know what I'm going to get from the new Bond from Amazon, because I don't know if you saw a couple of days ago.
Wait, we'll have to talk about that after the clip.
Okay.
Guys, let us know what you guys think in the comments and in the chat about this topic. Black X-Files.
Malcolm X-Files.
X-Files. Let us know what you guys think, and we're going to move on, and we're going to do super chats, but first John's going to finish his point. Thank you so much. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you saw it the last week, and I've got to verify it if it's accurate, because I've seen it from a few places, but they're basically saying about the new female in the new Bond movie is going to be a diverse, non-binary character that Bond comes up with for the first time. So instantly, straight away, I'm like,
I mean, didn't we already have like a James Bond, like, well,
we had
black James Bond?
You could say Mayday and A View to a Kill by Grace Jones. You know, that you could say. You've had
like, you know, in recent Bond, didn't we have like a bald black
Skyfall where he was gay? He was gay in Skyfall.
Wait, I'm sorry. James Bond was gay?
No, because in was it what's his name? Bardem in Skyfall.
Bardem,
his character where he's got Bond tied up in the chair. He's gay and he runs his hands up Bond's thighs and he goes,
"But it doesn't count.
Is this embarrassing you?" Yeah, and he says, and Bond says, "What makes you think it's my first?" You know, as if to say he slept with men before.
Oh God!
Now
I stopped watching after the first.
Yeah, Casino Royale was great. I enjoyed.
I watched Casino Royale, then that was it. That was the last one. I haven't seen.
I stopped watching when Daniel Craig walked out of the ocean. That was when I stopped watching. I'm like, oh, it's Daniel Craig. Never mind. Okay.
Hold up. You can't say that like a drive-by insult. Daniel Craig's not a bad actor.
Okay, listen, I was born in 1973. I got a lot of other James Bonds I like. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I know, I get that, but the way you said that was
more than Remington Steele. Let me tell you something. When what's his name became Bond, I just drew a blank. When Pierce Brosnan became James Bond, I was screaming at the top of my lungs. I used to watch Remington Steele, which was a great TV show. And I'm like, please make him James Bond. And then they did. I was so happy.
Do you know
wait. I'm sorry. I have to address this though. You can like other James Bond, but you can't say that Daniel Craig is bad.
He has no fucking charisma as James Bond, bro. I'm sorry. He doesn't have any of the playfulness that James Bond needs to have. He's just the more serious James Bond character. He didn't have any of the
so
I'll call it the Roger Morris.
Okay. So you're saying okay, not that he's a bad actor, he's just the wrong choice. Okay. Because I'm saying he's not a bad actor. He's a good actor.
Guy's crazy and knives out with a stupid Southern accent.
Well, yeah,
Casino Royale was a good movie.
Hold up, John. The Knives Out. I'm sorry. The knife. You're right. His accent's horrible.
It drives me crazy.
His accent. He is not good at the Southern accent. He's clearly a Brit, but the rest of it's very good. I think he's great in the Knives Out stuff.
He is, but his accent drives me nuts, so it's hard to watch. You know.
Shane is a very visual person sometimes. And like he can get hung up on like one thing, and it could totally ruin his experience. Yeah, again. Okay,
ahead,
John, what were you saying?
No, I was just going to say, yeah, Casino Royale was a good movie. It was diminishing returns after that, and then what they allowed him to do in the final movie and to be killed off, that really pissed me off big time. And
that's right, they killed off Bond.
They killed off Bond in that movie because he wanted the talk was because he was he was an executive producer on it. He wanted it categoric that he could not come back. And I'm like, no, I'm sorry, unacceptable. For me, the best Bond that we got, and again, it's for my favorite's Connery because he started it all. He's an absolute legend, and I grew up with the Roger Moore era, which I adore. I adore Brosnan. I think Brosnan was
Pierce Brosnan
got it right. It was the scripts that let him down as we went on, but I adore GoldenEye. GoldenEye watched so many times. It's so good.
Bro, I started playing first-person shooter video games because of GoldenEye. Are you kidding me?
Oh, like, that was a great game.
There was Doom. There was Duke
3D. 4-player.
There were a lot of good first-person games, but you know what? Really, when we all gathered around with our controllers and on that TV with a 4-screen quadrant
and 64,
and we just murdered each other for like 7 hours straight until our parents asked why we were up at 2 a.m. That was the good times.
Yeah. Little tip for everybody: if you're going to go back and play GoldenEye on the N64, go as Knick Knack. Because you're short, they can shoot over your head all the time, and you can just chop them in the bollocks and kill them.
Oh my gosh! All right, well, we're gonna move on from this. Yeah, and we should have made James Bond a topic, but it's not in the news. It just happened. But I do like the new James Bond. I know they're saying like new James Bond is gonna be some like a black trans chick or something, but I do believe that the culture. Oh my picture's on again. Sorry, I keep putting my picture on because I'm coughing. I apologize, guys. I think the culture is changing dramatically, and when and we're going to talk about Skydance and Paramount soon. But when they bought Paramount and they're sort of buying up stuff, their culture is not based on whatever virtue signaling and whatever narrative is being promoted by the tiniest class of people. Their culture is based on I want to make money and make cool stuff. And I think we're starting to see the Hollywood ship slowly turning around, and it's evident in the fact that Warner Brothers had the best year of all time, killed every other movie studio, and look at everything they produced. Everything they produced was about entertaining people. I think we're going back to that era.
I'll tell you quickly as well on what we're going to get from the new Bond. You've just got to look at the new Bond game that's coming out on PC and on consoles. You know, you've got a diverse female M. You've got a diverse female Moneypenny. You're going to have a diverse Q in it as well. I've got no doubt about that. And what does it say? I'm paraphrasing, but a few weeks back, that one of the main developers for it said, "Oh, we want to bring Bond up to the modern era." So, and basically, what that means is you're going to take his weapons away, and he's not going to sleep with women. He's just going to have to be a diplomat and negotiate his way through missions.
Remember that South Park episode where they like digitally removed all the weapons and gave him walkie-talkies or whatever?
Yeah.
Like, it's funny how South Park used to be so good at predicting the way,
brilliant,
like the culture and Hollywood and all that, and the politics would react to things. Now they're just broken, but it's funny how they predicted all this stuff. They predicted all the digital and all the reboots, and what was it? It was George Lucas and Steven Spielberg just double teaming Indiana Jones.
That's a great episode. That really is a great episode. So on the funny pinball machine, wasn't it?
Yeah, so funny. All right, well, we got some super chats. By the way, I want to thank JC Chappie, who has been a member for 18 months. He goes, "What's up, BRANE Show bros? John and all the Brainiacs in the chat. I'm finally catching a live stream, and now my weekend can officially start." Thank you, Chappie, for being a member and being a supporter for a long time. Friend. He follows up with a super chat, and he goes, "I love seeing growth in live viewers, guys. Y'all killing it." Thank you, Chappie. I appreciate that too, man. JC Chappie's been around for a long time, since the old time. The old time.
Oh, he's legend. He's a legend.
Also, our super producer, Kenneth the Rogue, with a member chat. Hi, guys. Hi, Ken. What's up, man? Good to see you, bro. I haven't seen Kenneth the Rogue in a couple weeks, I think. He's been busy. But I always appreciate the absolute legend that is the Rogue. Okay.
Guy.
Did we lose Shane?
I'm just going to ask you that because it seems to be me and you, and I just thought maybe he didn't like what I said about diverse Bond as a game, and he just went, right, that's it, I've had enough.
Yeah, we lost Shane.
He's gone off to play GoldenEye, hadn't he?
I thought so. I wasn't paying attention, but in the back end too, he's just gone.
Yeah.
So
we got on screen. We've got him as a Dr. Pepper.
Wait, I see him coming back. Oh, there he is.
He's back.
Guys, I think my computer is going to vote for Gavin Newsom because it just like totally shut off and said, "I'm not listening to this shit anymore."
It was so weird.
Totally turned off.
Because now that we have like the background images, I don't totally notice all the time when someone leaves. It looks like maybe you just turn your camera off. All right.
I was gone, bro.
No, you were gone. All right. So we're going to move on to the next topic. That's funny, dude.
Diverse Bond pushed you too far, Shane. That's what it was.
Or the PC. Like, I ain't having it. I want my female Bond. Want my female Bond.
Hey. We ain't got no time for that.
Twilight? Who's the chick from Twilight? That's who's going to be our new Bond.
Oh, no.
What are you talking about?
The LGBTQ and girl.
The unwashed one. The one who said she doesn't wash or something.
Oh, yeah. Oh, boy. Yeah. Dude, let me tell you something. Batman dodged a bullet when he broke up with that chick.
Hose her down.
Dude, Robert Pattinson was dating that broad, which I'm forgetting her name. Like, that's how far she's fallen from like relevancy. But he was
Kristen something.
Yeah.
Who cares?
She was
Kristen,
running Charlie's Angels, wasn't she?
Yeah, Kristen, who cares? But so he was dating her at like the peak of her popularity, and he was doing like these MTV Music Award sketches with Tom Cruise as his character from Tropic Thunder. And I remember making jokes about how he's becoming more popular than she is, so pretty soon he'll trade in. Well, he did it like really quickly. They broke up. Well, when they broke up, I think it broke her because she like shaved her head. Like she was already cast as a Charlie Angel. After the announcement, right before they started shooting, she shaves her head. Imagine being the studio who cast a pretty popular girl to play your new Charlie's Angel, and she shows up on set with pretty much bald hair.
Well, that's when she came out LGBTQ. That's when she came out. Like right after that, she came out as being LGBTQ. So, and then she's been different ever since.
Dude,
Speaking of which,
Batman broke her.
Yeah. Speaking of broken, Britney Spears put another video out this week, didn't she? Dancing with knives. So
she does that a lot.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that's pretty normal, isn't it?
Yeah, it's normal for her to
naked.
Yeah. Intervention, someone.
It would be abnormal if she wasn't barely dressed and didn't have knives. Yeah. At this point, it's like, oh, Britney Spears has a small patch of fabric over her vagina, 2 nipple tassels. Her kids are in the back screaming, and she's dancing with sharp knives. All I would
say to you two is when we do the BRANE Show next week and I've got loads of knife cuts across my face and body and you go, what happened? I just go, worth it.
I dare you to wear pasties next week, John.
Yeah, nothing but pasties. I want you to wear pasties, but it's with our stickers, our BRANE Show stickers.
Official mixed tea stickers.
Okay. Let's talk about some Star Trek, boys. This is Starfleet Academy, episode 8. It's titled A Life of the Stars. And you know what I noticed when I saw the first preview? Oh, finally we're going to get a doctor-centered Starfleet Academy show. That's what I thought, right? And of course, you know, we can't do a doctor, really. It can't be all doctor. He's got to be the B story. And the A story has to be the extreme drama and trauma that these characters experienced 2 episodes ago. Because why? Might as well skip an episode. Skip the trauma and just go, like, it's almost like they're remembering the trauma of that ship an episode after the fact. But this episode came out, and I got to tell you, it wasn't as bad as last week, but it definitely wasn't good. And I have a lot of questions. I don't think the writers fully understand, didn't fully watch the episodes that the doctor references when it comes to his kids and all that.
Shocker.
And I'm confused as to how the technology works. So many choices didn't make sense to me. They made the only interesting part of this episode, the B story, and the A story was back at Starfleet Academy, where they're pretty much getting drunk and talking about their feelings and drama. That's literally what the A story was. Let's bring Tilly in. She's going to tell them that she needs to teach these Starfleet Academies drama. They basically made Starfleet kids drama kids, and they all got drunk and talked about their feelings. That's it.
Do you know what, guys? It was already unbelievably shit before I even got to the Tilly scene. But as soon as, and I'm going to quote it now, as soon as I got to the Tilly scene where you hear her say, "Oh, you're all still asleep. Wakey, wakey, Ractagino and Bakey." You know, I was like, I need to find someone smaller than me so I can beat them up.
Oh man, I got to tell you, I mean, listen, I love Robert Picardo. I love the man. And and as shit as this show is, the moments he gets is honestly, it makes me not want to kill myself. You know, when he's on screen, luckily, because it is the doctor. And even though we don't understand exactly what's going on, but you know what I don't want? I do not want the history of the doctor to be all of the trauma he felt and the losing of a child. And I'm just like, why the F can we not celebrate things on Star Trek? Have some sort of positive hope for the future. Yeah. It's always dystopian trauma. You know, listen, we're tired of that emotion, guys. We're tired of it.
Right.
You know, we would like to get back to, you know, a little more hope, a little more positiveness, a little more correct direction. Maybe we could have a positive episode.
The only positive episodes we get is super gay. Like they go super LGBT with anything positive, and anything not LGBT is like dread and trauma and generational demons.
Honor, character,
right?
Yeah.
You know,
inspiration,
optimism.
Yeah, optimism. What drives me nuts about this is that they're picking all the worst parts of Legacy Trek. Like, well, yes, men wear skirts and TNG. We're going to use that. Well, that's a bad part of it. That didn't make any sense. No one liked that, but they grabbed that. Oh, well, let's get this thing from Cisco. You grab all like the surface level stuff that didn't matter. Like they keep going for all the parts of Legacy Trek. Yeah, dude, they said he liked baseball like 5 times.
It was weird.
Like, we get it, guys. You don't have to keep reiterating.
They watched one episode of Deep Space Nine where they played baseball. Remember that episode?
Yeah, they watched that one episode. And they're like, that's it. All Cisco's about is eating gumbo and playing baseball. So, in this episode, really pushed it over the top when they went to the part where the doctor lost his kid. Look, there's a lot of good Voyager out there, but there's... And I would say 85% of Voyager is excellent, but there's 10% of it is shit. Like there's some Voyager episodes are bad, guys. I know I've made a joke about this before, but Threshold is a bad episode of television.
It's one of the worst episodes of Trek up until this show.
Yes, and you know what? Also, the episode where he loses his kid because of B'Elanna Torres is stupid. There is bad episodes of Voyager. It's weird how these writers continually focused on the parts of Star Trek that didn't work. and they ignore the 85% of it that does. It's weird.
Look, guys, we talked about it briefly, you know, because I shared my rage with you both after I'd watched it. but this bit with the doctor and about he hasn't been able to, you know, raise another child after what happened to his holographic daughter in the season 3 episode of I think it was called Family Ties or something like that. Now I watched it, funnily enough, on Monday because I'm going through season 3 as we speak, so it was good timing. And I've watched it so many times over the years. Now it's established in that episode that he's only recently created that family because he invites Torres to go and see them for the first time. Okay, right. So we get there. Torres amends the simulation with the holograms so that they're more, you know, they're a family that, you know, aren't all perfect. You know, there's flaws in the family. The son is, you know, hanging out with Klingons, and the daughter is wanting to do Parisi squares, you know, and getting to do dangerous things.
The daughter is signing up for OnlyFans and doing cocaine.
Yeah. Exactly. So you get to the end of the episode, and yet she's dying. So Paris convinces him that you can't have the good without the bad, which is a good thing for the end of the episode to say, you know, that's life. You've got to deal with it. You've got to see it through. So we get to the end of the episode. So when it came up in Academy this week, and he brings that up, and again, they very carefully edited the clip to just show the daughter, not the mother and not the son from that episode. And I thought to myself, well, this doesn't ring true, because there's another episode in Voyager later on in seasons where he's lived for centuries on a planet.
Right.
And he basically says he has a son. You then get Endgame, where in the alternate reality where they've been back on Earth for 20 years at the reunion, he's married to a human woman and he's called himself Joe. So he's already kind of moved on from it. So straight away, you're sat there thinking, as a Star Trek fan, you're thinking, you were just saying, guys, a few minutes ago, they've done the bare minimum work.
Right.
Their narrative.
So he knew his holographic daughter for 5 minutes, and it's now been a thousand years. And for some reason, even though we've shown him already move on, he literally just made this screensaver. So he made a program, and then B'Elanna went in there and murdered that program to teach him a lesson. That's essentially what the entire episode is. The episode is the doctor creates something, and B'Elanna goes in there and burns it to the ground.
Right.
And so then we show the doctor for literally centuries where he is not focused on the trauma. But they make it his entire character in this new series, where that's always focused on. But there is so much established lore, seasons of established lore, where he is not focused on that. It just shows. We never even hear about his daughter again, ever again.
Well, but that's what New Trek is all about. That's what their focus is. Find the trauma in the character. They're so desperate to connect back to these older series, but they're looking for the pieces that make the most sense for the tone that they want, which is trauma, damage. I mean, why can't the doctor take over as the command
hologram?
Take over command on Starfleet Academy when everybody. Why can't we have an episode where that happens?
Isn't the ECH? Emergency command hologram.
Emergency command hologram. Yeah,
bring that back, and why don't we have that be a thing? Why don't we focus on something that was positive about his character from the past that translates forward to the future, that makes us fans go, "Oh, I remember those. I love those episodes." Don't take like the 1 or 2 episodes we freaking hated about the doctor and then connect that to the new series. I mean, give me a break.
Right, but it's also, though, it's not just the stuff we hated. Like, they take the stuff that is just depressing, and it doesn't even make sense canonically. Like John said, we've seen him already for hundreds of episodes after this, not focused on on the random program he made for 5 minutes to be like. By the way, B'Elanna Torres is sort of a dick. She went in there, he made something cool. She went in there and basically set it on fire. Like, come on, dude. Not cool. Imagine Shane, look at this sculpture I made, and you just smash it and be like, "That's life, bro." That's pretty much what that episode is.
I think also B'Elanna had not yet humanize the doctor.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, she was going through her process of trying for him being a sentient real life form. He was still just a program.
I think in a few episodes after that, he does kind of get his revenge on, I think it's called Darkling or something like that, where he's tampered with his program to get better, but he's created like a multiple personality, and it's an evil one. And he basically restrains her on the bio bed where she can't move her legs, and he's about to torture her. So I think he was quite enjoying that.
Also, doesn't the doctor like sexually assault facsimiles of all of his female crewmates at some point?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's like let's be real, okay? This one thing we love about the Doctor is he's showing like his character on Voyager is sort of like what the audience is like. He's experiencing all this stuff as a sentient being, sort of for the first time. We would too. And if I had access to a holodeck, there'd be no brain show. I wouldn't have kids or a wife. I would just live there. And it would be like that episode of Star Trek where Randy got access to a computer again for the first time in 6 months. That would be my life. I'd be like 87 pounds, and I just wouldn't leave, dude.
We would be doing a brain show in a holographic universe with a Hawaiian bar and everything. You would all be welcome.
Right.
You could come in and join us. It'd be
that was on Voyager as well.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like all the stuff he does and experiences is like probably what we would do. But he's not a perfect character by far. Like, I would love to see this new version of Star Trek with our current politics and their current sort of woke ideology. Hey, guys, do you remember when the Doctor problematically sexually assaulted his entire female crew, including B'Elanna Torres? You guys remember that?
Is cancelled.
The doctor of your ship is basically creating deep fake porn of all of his co-workers. Like, dude, come on. It's like...
Let me tell you something.
Problematic.
When our Star Trek on Reddit hates your TV show sucks. I just want to say.
Yeah, because our Star Trek on Reddit is super woke.
It's super woke. It's
like,
so
dude, their banner is like all LGBT, IDIC, whatever. You can't go in there and talk any crap on anything that's new Star Trek without getting completely lambasted and downvoted into oblivion. If they don't like what you're making, you are not making good anything. Like, you failed. You have failed.
Guys, I've got 2 questions for you as well. Help me with it, please. Okay. The first one I've got, when Tamara comes back at the beginning of the episode and the doctor's narrating it, and he's basically saying, he says to her, something like, the Betazoids have given you a new enhanced device into your neck so that it won't hurt you again. The first one worked fine. In that episode, the Miyazaki episode, she rips it out of her neck so that she can use her powers. Yeah. So they don't even watch their own episodes, let alone historic Star Trek.
Yeah, and boy, that was so disappointing. I know we didn't talk about it. It was so disappointing when you set up this character that is so like a powerful Beta Z. Super powerful Beta Z. So powerful they had to inhibit her to make sure she didn't end their world or whatever.
But of course she is.
Right? And they set up this character, and she has a chance to use her powers that we all, as Star Trek fans, have always wanted to see what an amped up Beta Z would look like, right? Come on, we all do.
That's fair.
We've all wanted, like, what would like a really super powerful Beta Z be able to do? And she finally gets the chance to do it because her lover, is in trouble, and she rips that thing out, and like I gotta tell you, I'm like, oh yeah, here we go. What did I say in the first episode? The first episode we were reviewing it, John said, there's gonna be a moment where he's in trouble, and you're gonna see in the doorway just the glowing eyes of this broad with her inhibitor out, and she's gonna like just absolutely save the day. Yeah. We did not get that. Instead, we got the soft, anticlimactic version of that exact story. You couldn't even tell the story right. You set it up, and then it's like you set up a perfect bowling pin, and at the last minute, someone just shot your bowling ball. It's so frustrating that you set up this really cool moment, and then fumbled it, dude.
Guys, but also when she's walking in at the beginning of the episode and you've got all the cadets looking down at her like she's a freak, why would they be thinking she's a freak? I could understand it in episode 1 or 2 where they don't know her, but she's literally saved the lives of cadets on that ship.
She is saved.
Why would you think she's a freak? Yeah,
But she's a literal hero.
yeah.
No, she's not, dude. She's an evil monster.
It's so weird though. Like, dude. First off, it's Starfleet in the vast future. If everyone's accepted there, you can be anything. Well, then to add to it, that person just saved the day.
Yeah,
at the risk of her own life. Why are you looking down at her? And why are we preaching to you about looking down at people? It's such a weird thing. It's like wait a minute. You, the same people that are telling us to accept some weird, trans, disrespectful, guy in a wheelchair, but you're like, but the second someone actually saves the day, they're the hero. You act like a weird person, like a crazy person. And why are we preaching this to you? Aren't you all about acceptance?
Because today Star Trek is all about victimhood. So the lesson is it's all about who's the bigger victim, right? We got to point it out in every episode. We got to deal with their trauma. Victim. It's how we're looking at how the character sees himself through their eyes from a dystopian point of view, which is why old Trek and new Trek, besides the writing being shit, the tone is the problem. The tone is all wrong.
Yeah.
Okay. It's you can have somebody who has a deficiency, but the idea is that they overcome their deficiency to the point where they become optimistic, the best of the best. They make the crew better. These shows don't do that, guys.
I mean,
it makes no sense. Your disability, whatever makes you unique, should be what also empowers you to be awesome. And that's what we saw in old Star Trek. And when this girl came out, and she's like this strong, super, very smart. She was clever in the first episode, and she's super, strong beta Z. Like, I had high hopes for this character because something that she sees as a disability is really a massive asset, right? Instead, all of her classmates also see it as a disability. It's such a weird thing. It's like you're projecting problems where there are no problems. Oh, well, this person is not traumatized enough. We need to make sure she's super traumatized.
100%. And do you know who's the villain of the whole show? Without a doubt, it's Captain Nala. She's the villain. I mean, again, in this one, she turns up to Mara. Her morale is shot to bits, and she basically tells her, "Oh, we've reassigned you to the academy from the war college," and effectively she's saying that they kind of go into this because of your disability, you won't be able to do the activities of the war college. Then why is she still in Starfleet Academy then? Why wouldn't she shipped out of the academy?
But it's not a disability. She just saved the day.
They need more sex. Give me more sex.
But guys, it's not a disability. Why? I don't understand. She pulled out the inhibitor to save the day, and now it's back. Problem solved.
People got mad about wheelchairs. They had to create a new disability. It's all.
And can I ask you guys a question as well, right? Why do they need to shuttle Sam the hologram to a home world when we already know, as we were talking about earlier, things that they don't pick up on? Star Trek Voyager, season 6 and 7, they basically transmit the Doctor back to the Alpha Quadrant to heal his dying mentor, creator.
Right.
But transmit across that distance.
Well, even in their own show, bro, they already show the people from Canton or Kaz talking to her.
Exactly.
So they didn't have to go there in a ship. That was so they could pad the numbers because the B story wasn't strong enough. And then when they get there, I'm sorry, this is driving me nuts. I don't understand. I can't. And someone's got to explain it to you. Give me any explanation that makes my head kind of make sense. Why is the planet shaped like a cube?
I can't answer that myself, mate. I really can't.
It's not a real planet.
Can I also say something funny? Did you notice?
Makes no sense, guys.
Did you notice as well when the Doctor says that he will bring her up and he'll stay on cask? the first shot you've got is when she's a baby and the doctor picks her up. It's a white baby.
Oh, really?
And then the rest of it, like the toddler, is a black toddler. So it's like they're gone. Look, it's like someone came into the production team and go, look, we've got good news and bad news. The good news is we've got a baby, but we can only get a white one.
They got the wrong shot. Yeah. The wild thing about that too is I was getting a little confused. Like, well, because the way time works, it'll only be 3 weeks on Earth. That's super convenient that you're going to raise this person for 17 years and only a few weeks will have passed on Earth. Okay, whatever, bro. Here's the scene, by the way, of Cask.
I just hate it all.
Look at
I hate it. I hate it so much. Guys, I was doing my taxes while watching this shit. Why did I do this to myself?
Why is the planet a cube? Like, it's just so weird. And then they refer
Because
to
of the orb, dude. So that's what.
Oh no, it's Vija, everybody. Look, it looks like Vija.
But guys, and then they refer to like the beings down there they speak to as the creators. I mean, guy, how do photonic people create photonic people? Like, I don't understand that. How is there even a photonic race? Like, come on, guys, how is this possible? It makes no sense. You're breaking all the rules.
It's weird.
And you break the rules and you don't explain it. And like we said before, you can have a Ford Mustang in Lord of the Rings if you want to. But you have to explain why it's there because that is not native to that universe. You can make a photonic race, but there has to be some explanation as to how they exist.
Yeah, where's the power system that's powering it all? I mean, again, when you go back to Voyager, and again, it's a good example of it, when the Herodian have basically got the holographic technology and they're hunting the holograms and the Doctor joins forces with them at some point, you go to them and they've got the technology. They're all holographic characters from the various species of the Alpha Quadrant. Now, why are there no holographic creatures walking around in this show at all? Do they not like bodies?
No, they use like these
and they say you can't understand us. We've made it look for obviously budgetary. You've made it look like your academy. It's like, well, why would we not understand? You're not a higher being.
It's funny how they explain that, and really the reason is for it's budget issues. They don't want to make another set. And they're like, well, we need to explain why we don't have money for this. But yeah, you're not a higher being. Like, you're a photonic race. They have not established that you're some like God or something. And then also they said, what took us centuries to create, you destroyed in days. Like, it took you centuries to create Sam?
Yeah.
Like, you were bad at creating things.
Yeah, you've missed some data in your programming somewhere.
Bro, it took you centuries to create Balana Torres made that guy made a completely another version of the Doctor in like an afternoon. Like, I'm not sure what took you centuries to make here. It's a weird concept. The whole thing is like, oh, this is a fascinating idea. And then you, like, as usual, you fumble the ball to the point where it's actually funny. You fumble the ball so poorly that it looks like you're purposely throwing the game.
Do you know what also, when I was watching it, you know when they're in Captain Nala's quarters and you've got Tig Notaro and Tilly with her, and it's the most insufferable scene I've ever experienced. All I was thinking of at that point, you know, in Star Trek Into Darkness movie, where Khan comes down and just fires a load of lasers into the building. I wanted that moment at that exact point because they're insufferable. And the only thing that I can think of now is Captain Nala. It's being played, and I think it's true. She's a pissed up hag because she swigs that alcohol bottle from the bar. If you watch it, she says, what we're having. She literally scoops that bottle up quickly and comes back with the glasses. She acts like she is hammered all the time.
Just a middle-aged lush.
Julia. Yeah.
Holly Hunter may be hammered all the time. I don't know. I just know she's the most. You got her face up on the screen, and I want to cut my own throat. Every time they pan by, she can't sit in a damn chair. Like, I just can't stand the way she sits in the captain's chair. And I think at this point they know it, and they're just doing it to fuck with me.
Yeah. I put a photoshopped image on Twitter.
I saw it.
Yeah.
Thank you for triggering me.
You know, it's basically she was sitting upside down in the chair. But it's funny that people were literally asking, wait, is this in the show? Like,
Yeah.
because
It looks real.
she's so ridiculous. They thought it was it.
Show it. Looks real.
Real quick though, we did have a super chat from Matt, and I normally cover them after the clip's over, but this is a direct problem I have with the show. Why are the cadets in this episode suffering from trauma from the Mizaki incident when last week they were all fine? So much of the plot doesn't make sense. Yes, John, please speak on that while I pull the image up because I'm confused.
Yep.
You shouldn't be. You've watched New Trek. You shouldn't be.
Please let John speak, Shane. Okay?
Sorry.
When I was watching it, guys, I thought to myself, okay, the only way I can explain this is that they've shifted around the episodes in the production block. They've gone, we'll put this episode first because this should have been straight after the Miyazaki episode, but then they're establishing this episode. This is a month later. And this is another problem I've got with this whole season. The timeline is all over the place. Like they jump forward in quite a bit in this season as well. It's really, really peculiar. I don't know if you guys picked up on that, but it's like, it makes no sense. They're sunbathing and happy last week. This week, suddenly they're all coming apart.
Right.
Yeah. And it's, I mean, I will say one positive to it. We actually saw cadets doing what they should be doing. They were on a bridge during a simulation. But can I also ask, why is Tig Notaro sat in the captain's chair? Wouldn't that be a cadet sat in the captain's chair and she stood observing?
Well, no, because Spock, if you go back
Wrath
to...
of Khan.
Yeah, if you go back to when he was doing it, he was sitting in the chair and he was directing the... So that actually is canon, I guess you could say.
Which...
When he was instructing the Starfleet kids.
It's I honestly expected it to be like the Kobayashi Maru or something.
Oh, that would have been hilarious.
Because they always go back to that. Like they always do.
Can I give you some dialogue from this episode as well? Which, you know,
by the way, this is the image that I put up.
Yeah, and guys, and Shane, you know, you're a journalist. You're better at words than I am in dialogue. But okay, this is Sam the hologram. I like plays, their art. They didn't exist until they came out of someone's brain. Dialogue, okay, and then Sam again.
Like AI, actually. That.
Sorry, I've learned that I am a lot. On a good day, I'm a little bit much. On rare occasions, I'm woa, Sam. Slow to impulse. I'm not even up yet, and I just can't with your midday energy before I even pull my underwear out of my butt. Why is a hologram wearing underwear, for crying out loud?
It's weird.
No, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, listen, the writers...
How about this one? It was 800 years ago. It was yesterday. What? No, it was literally 800 years ago.
That as well. When she's researching all of the, you know, screenplays throughout history, and she says she's reading them all at exactly the same time. Then when she gets where she says she's chosen Your Town as the play, she says, Our Town. Sorry, she said it's from 1,000 years ago. Well, it's not 1,000 years ago. It's 20th century. So again, they don't even research for their own episodes. So we got no chance of them getting it right from Voyager. None.
No, listen. I mean, we knew from the beginning. Wait, how many more episodes of this do I have to watch? I'm just curious.
Two more.
Two more. Wow, more episodes than A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So honestly, they're just look. If you're expecting anything good to occur from here on out, you're a lost soul. I'm sorry. If you're enjoying this show, good on you. But
I'm glad for you. If you are, I'm really glad that the bar is so low that you're that easily entertained.
Don't take this the wrong way, but you really like shitty TV. And I'm just sorry, man. There are people out there who like shitty TV. I've got family members who like really bad television. This is one of them.
But also there's people that are such massive fans of Star Trek that they're like anything that has the Star Trek name on it. It doesn't matter.
It can't be possible, bro. I mean, well, okay. I would say that was true if our Star Trek wasn't just lambasting the shit out of this thing. Like they defended Discovery to the end, defended Strange New Worlds to the end. They are letting go of this show, and I don't know.
I think you're right, Matt. And I think also the one thing that we've all learned from this episode is, you don't stick with trauma counselors. What you do is you call in an obnoxious, over-the-top character from another starship, from Discovery, to actually heal your cadets. Not stick with the people that are qualified and capable of dealing with it.
Right.
You know, unbelievable. But again, like you, Shane, there's 2 episodes to go. It's pain, it's suffering, it's everything I expected it would be for a Kurtzman Academy series. And again, 2 episodes to go. What did you guys say at the beginning, which I completely agreed with? There's no stakes to an Academy series. Never was, regardless of who was making it. But even still, there is no development of these characters whatsoever. How could they ever command a starship? You know, it's just crazy.
Can we leave it out?
By the way, I have a teaser for the finale. This is what we're gonna get in the last episode.
Show it before we go.
I believe Jaden is going to want to, fully transition to an Orion show.
Let's leave you out on this quote by random 8765309. Jenny, get my number. Another disappointment, boring, no action, and a huge amount of melodramatic garbage. This isn't Star Trek. It's not even decent science fiction. The franchise deserves much better. Much better.
Yeah.
So,
and that's it for Star Trek Episode 8. Let us know what you guys think in the comments in the chat, in all the other places. Drop your opinions. We'll respond. And let's move on.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. We got a super chat from that Mila Master. A good alternative to Starfleet Academy is Space Patrol Delta. Good drama, action, and students who learn to be selfless space cops. Actually, is that like an anime or something? I've never heard of that.
No. Have a look.
Yeah, I gotta look that up. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate it. Oh, it's a Power Rangers thing. Thanks for that. I'll check it out. I do like me some optimism. Also from Andre Benson, after watching this episode of Starfleet Academy, I ended up watching DS9 episode In the Pale of Moonlight to get what I want out of my system. Watch out of my system. Yeah, makes sense.
That is a good episode. In the Pale Moonlight.
Yeah, phenomenal. It's a favorite.
In the Pale Moonlight. Also from Matt McGee for $10. Thank you, Matt McGee, my dude. This week's Starfleet Academy has next to zero redeeming value. It was almost as bad as last week's episode, which was abysmal. Yes, that's all true. Last week's episode was the worst, by far.
Last week's was the worst.
Yeah.
You didn't like sunbathing in the middle of the academy, mate? You didn't like warp slugs? Really?
Oh my God, warp slugs.
I think I fell asleep during it.
You understand how stupid warp slugs are? Let me tell you. We just went, this universe, right, has established that the burn ruined all dilithium crystals and changed the way the entire galaxy and universe works forever. And it happened because some Kelpian had a tantrum, right? Well, and then you establish all these other forms of transportation that easily could have avoided the side effects of the burn. You established that there was the singularity drive. You established now warp slugs. You're establishing all these other ways of traveling after you've already given us the problem. You, in your own canon, you said this is why this problem in this new universe and this traumatic future exists because of the burn. But then throughout that story you're telling us, you're showing us all the ways that could have avoided that future.
Yeah,
I'm so confused.
100%. It makes no sense whatsoever. As we've said many a time, it should have been, if a good writer would have had it, that they travel into the future. It's the Romulans that have caused the burn. The Romulans don't use dilithium, so they've taken over the entire quadrant effectively. And there's pockets of resistance there. Now, that's something I would potentially watch. Now, with Starfleet Academy, the only thing I can ask now for the 31st century is somebody needs to fire that Genesis torpedo towards Earth and just start again.
Well, they got to hire people who can write that stuff. The problem is they keep hiring people who aren't capable of writing the Romulan future. They're just not capable of doing it. It's got to be, girls who are upset, trauma and difficult and it's got to be high school drama.
Yeah, I like that idea. By the way, what you said, like, imagine for a minute if like the burn was a product of a purpose, a purpose thing that the Romulans did because they don't use dilithium.
Yeah.
It would have actually made a lot of sense, and you could have still had your universe, but it wouldn't have been built on in a completely rotten core that is the stupid concept of the burn.
Well, they want to double down on their Kelpian, right? So there's always the problem. They want to double down on what they've created,
right?
Whether it's the Lanthanite character now that makes no fucking sense, whether it's the Kelpian, but they're always trying to capitalize on their new creations instead of going back to what works.
I've been watching Star Trek Picard season 3 again this week, and
nice.
I'm in a real happy place again with it because it's like, again, it smells, it feels, it looks Star Trek watching that season. And one thing I would say is Raffi, I couldn't stand that character in season 1 and 2. She was insufferable. But in season 3, she's actually acceptable because she's written well. That's the difference. It's the caliber of the writers.
Yeah, the writing.
That's a great example, John. Actually, that's really smart because, if you look at Picard season 1, 2, and 3 is a great example of like how shitty writing and how good writing is done. And you've got a couple of characters you can like key in on, right? And because Picard's tough, he was there in seasons 1 and 2, but really we're getting Picard from TNG. Raffi's not a character from back then.
Right.
No. Right. So she's almost the perfect example of how a really bad character written well can be okay.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like the difference, like one bad writing, one's good writing, and one we literally hate that character like with a passion, and one we're like, oh, it's pretty good.
And again,
all right, we gotta move on for Star Trek. We've been talking about it for 45 minutes, guys. We gotta move on. Okay, come on. Sorry.
Listen, John, we're in John's sweet spot.
I know, John. We gotta save it for Sci-Fi Chronicles. Okay, we gotta move on. We're running out of time.
I've had enough of your rules, Brian.
Okay. God, we can't talk about Star Trek for an hour. I know we're all Trekkies, but like, dude. All right.
Thou shall not pass.
Okay. All right. We're gonna be now. Okay. You guys got throwing me off my game, goddamn it. Okay. All right. We are talking about the Department of War. Why? Because the Department of War is coming after the Boy Scouts. If you didn't have this on your 2026 bingo card, then where have you been? Yes, the Department of War has officially put Scouting America on notice. We have the whole video. We're going to watch it. We're going to comment. We're going to react. Hope you enjoy this as much as I did.
Don't go anywhere. You are not going to want to miss the commentary.
No, this is next level, boys and girls.
For more than a cent.
Here we go. By the way, this is Pete Heggs. How do you say his last name?
XF. Yeah.
He is the leader.
He's the defense secretary
he's the defense secretary. He's the guy in charge of the Department of War.
War secretary. Sorry. By the way, listen, I just want to say before we do this, of all the things that Trump has changed, this is one of the stupidest changes of all the name changes.
No, it was the Department of War before.
It was not.
It was
the Department of Defense.
No. Before the Department of Defense, it was Department of War. Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
they changed it back
during World War II when we were at war.
Whatever, it makes sense. Yeah.
It does not make sense, and we can argue about it.
I mean, like we've had this conversation before about the Gulf of America. I don't care.
That one will bug me. I don't care about that one.
I don't really care about the name changes. I think they're just trying to establish their dominance by changing the names. That's it.
Whatever.
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me or excite me. I can give a shit less.
It bothers me a little bit as a person who's.
But why does it bother you?
Because I spent 22 years in the Department of Defense, and I'm sorry.
Yeah,
we're not at war. It just seems weird to change your entire military function to the Department of War.
Well, think about this, Shane. Hold up, Shane.
No need to denigrate a rag like that.
Wait. Hold up, Shane. Real quick.
Wasn't a war,
guys, real quick.
Think about this. That wasn't a war.
Think about this, guys. Hold up. Think of this. The Department of Defense. That word, that name builds an ideology where we are always on the defensive, right? the Department of War builds a culture where we will come after you if you get in our way.
No, that's not true.
One's offensive, one's defensive.
Right. One is we want to go take all of your lands and we're going to go fuck you up and now we're going to own you.
Nah.
And the other one is if you fuck with us, we're going to kick your ass. And that's there. You're right. There is a mentality difference. America has always been, we're going to defend ourselves and defend our people. It's never been, we're going to go take your lands. Now we're not doing that.
I don't think the Department of War says we're going to take your lands. I think.
Listen, you've got enough credibility issues. The last thing you need to do is to start becoming attacky and everything.
No, hold up. No. That's wrong. They don't actually have credibility issues. They have manufactured credibility issues. Let's be real.
It's still a credibility.
No. Don't take a leftist perspective on this because they don't.
I'm not.
Their credibility issues is entirely manufactured by the bullshit left and their propaganda war.
No,
it's not real.
People by the shit that comes out of their mouth.
Yeah, because they make shit up, and I'm not going to kowtow. I'm not going to kowtow and allow them to make shit up and then change the way I react because they're making bullshit up. Not going to do it.
Let me tell you something. My point of view, when I listen to some of the things Pete Hegseth says, President Trump says, some of the things that are said out loud make me cringe. And when you make me cringe too much for too long, right, I stop tuning in.
But you're cringing because you know what the reaction from the insane left is going to be.
And look, I'm a regular guy. I'm not saying I don't support the president. I'm glad that we're doing.
But you're cringing because you know how the radical left is going to respond.
No, I'm cringing because it's fucking cringy.
Like, bro, changing the name. I can't believe we're going this far on this. Changing the name of the department from Department of Defense Department. I like here what Christopher said. Hard disagree, Shane. Changing it to Department of Defense was the first problem. Speak softly and carry a big stick. You're saying Department of War is we're going to take your land. I'm saying the opposite. One is offensive, one is defensive. Department of Defense, the reason we've had such weakness in our country for the last 60 years. I'm not saying that we
haven't had weakness in our country for 60 years. That's 100% not true.
Yes, it is. No.
We were powerful in the 80s and 90s. We were.
We're powerful because of our money. We're powerful because of our commerce. What do you mean?
Reagan is the one who built up the military.
Reagan built it back up, yes, and then the Democrats brought it back down again every single time. Well, they've used our military to funnel money into BlackRock and Vanguard and their friends.
I was there during that time. Let me be clear. Okay, so I'm going to speak for the.
No, Reagan was a mostly good president. I'm not saying that, but
no, I'm just saying that
but outside of Reagan, we've made poor decisions.
Okay, no. Okay, so we have made some poor, but we've also made some really good decisions. Okay, we've gone out and taken care. We've strengthened a lot of our ties with people. My point is
by kowtowing. Here, let me give you $50 billion so you don't launch another terrorist attack on us. That's the definition of the Department of Defense.
Well, that's what for the president making a decision like that is not the same thing. Giving money to Iran and that shit, that's not the Department of Defense doing that.
No, but that's a Department of Defense mentality.
No,
let me give you all this money so you don't throw more terrorists at buildings.
There's a big difference between the DEI initiatives that the military brought in and our defense posture and our military members and what they do. There's a difference. And what's happening right now is they're trying to tie the two things in together, and it's not. Okay, so, and one of the things I don't like is I don't like the way Trump speaks about taking things, taking Greenland, doing this, taking these things, changing the name to Department of War. It's one thing that you want people to respect you, okay? And it's another thing that you basically take yourself and you say, okay, I'm going to do these things and make myself look poor. I'm going to make myself not as, I'm not as serious. I'm not going to take you serious. Right? Are we going to be the country that goes and says, you know what, Cuba, you're ours. Hey, you know what, Mexico, fuck you, you're ours. Hey, Venezuela, you're ours. Greenland, you're ours. You know what, Iran, fuck you. Are we going to be the world police again? Because that's what we had a problem.
No, hold on, man. No, you have to change the culture, or it won't stick when Trump is gone, bro. You can bitch about the Gulf of Mexico being Gulf of America, but you know what?
Texas is great.
But the Gulf of America makes sense. The department. Go ahead.
Hegseth is great he's got the right mentality for what our Defense Department needs.
We have to change the culture or it won't stick in 6 years when they're gone.
But I'm just saying, and this is the point of the whole thing, changing it to the War Department is just ridiculous. It's a step in changing the culture, Shane. Yeah, the name doesn't mean dick, bro.
Yes, it does, though, because you
don't change what you call things.
Yes, you have to start with changing it back to what.
We're going to agree to disagree on this.
What the point of the department was, and then you change the culture. It's a step in changing the culture.
It's not. It's not.
Okay.
It's just, I think, fucking posturing, bro.
No, it's not. No, I think they're trying to change the culture.
They changed the culture by changing the culture. By calling it Department of War.
But that's a step in the process of changing the culture, bro.
Beating his chest, bro. That's all it is.
No, it's not. I disagree. We'll agree to disagree on this. We'll agree to disagree on this.
I think I'd rather be in the boat with you two, whereas if we got a prime minister where effectively, if he could, he'd be changing our department to department sit on the fence, because that's all he ever does. Like today.
Shane, poor John. We forget it. So Shane and I would sit here and argue about something. We forget that John lives in a country where it's like his Department of War is Department of I'm sorry.
Yeah. Department of let's wait until Macron and the German Premier have actually told me what to do, and then I will put out a statement.
I can't believe we argued about this for 8 minutes. We haven't watched the clip. All right, here we go.
One thing that you got to understand is that I served in the military during the change, when the DEI change began.
It's true.
I know exactly what went wrong. I know how it went wrong. I know all that stuff. Okay. And the way you change it is by changing policy. Okay. And just calling yourself the Department of War isn't going to change your mentality.
Just agree to disagree, but you want to go back in? I believe that changing the name change was the first step in changing the culture. And I believe the culture has to change in order for these positive changes to stick when these guys are gone.
I don't know.
And they will be gone in 10 years.
Can I just say as well, One Punch Man Tolkien fan, good to see you, mate. Who's put, sorry you had to be in the middle of the fight, LOL. And I was like, these are my brothers. I love watching these two go. It's highly engaging.
Notice
every single time
we put John right between us.
yeah, exactly. I'm like that. I'm good. Easy, guys. Easy. Come on.
All right.
Just remember, one of us played war, one of us went to war. That's all I'm saying.
All right. You can go to war and you can not go to war and still have valid opinions.
Who you talk like somebody who has a different idea of what it is inside of it. And I get it. I get what you're saying, but it's not.
Okay,
it's not
so
reality.
I guess we're going to keep arguing about this. I'm going to respond to this real quick.
Save the member section.
No, respond to this, please. Do you agree or disagree with my statement that changing the name is their first step to changing the culture?
Me?
Yeah, do you agree or disagree?
No, I disagree.
Okay, do you agree that they're trying to change the culture?
Exec was the first step.
I'm asking questions. Do you agree or disagree that they're trying to change the culture?
Yes, they are.
Okay, do you agree or disagree that changing the culture is necessary in order for these positive changes to stick?
Yes.
Okay, so you agree they're trying to change the culture. You agree they have changed the culture, but you disagree in what you think is a useless name change.
It was stupid. It does nothing. And unless you're telling me that all
and then you go, I went to war, you didn't. So my opinions are more valid than yours.
No. My opinions are more valid because I went through the entire experience and I was inside of it. So they are more valid.
Yeah, you understand the DOD, but we're not talking about the inner workings of the DOD. I'm talking about the inner working, the outer workings of culture, of pop culture, of culture within the United States.
You're telling me that people are so stupid that they need to hear that it's the War Department in order to change their mentality about joining the military?
Yes.
That's stupid. I'm sorry. I hope we don't have that many stupid people out there.
No, bro.
I want to join the War Department because I'm an idiot.
Yes, no, because it sounds mean.
Joining the Department of Defense because that doesn't sound as cool.
Department of War sounds masculine. And let's be honest. The people that we're dealing with that are attacking our nation on a daily basis are really, really stupid people.
How about we deal with China?
They're back.
We're not doing.
We are dealing with
China.
We are dealing with China. What are you talking about? How are we not?
How can they get all our farmland? How come we're allowing that?
Yes, that's still happening. But we've made a lot of changes to
We're afraid of China. That's why
we've made a ton of changes to rein in China.
No, nothing. Almost nothing.
That's not true at all.
Other than stopping him at the Panama Canal and stopping him in South America, which is good, but we do nothing to deal with them directly. Those people have been fucking with us for 30 years. And
you're completely right. Trump has been around for how long now? As they say on his second term.
I'm just saying Trump.
And every single step of the way that he tries to deal with China, he gets stopped by his own government, and he's still made headway by forcing China.
He's soft on China. He's constantly trying to be friends with China. He wants to be friends with him. And I get it. The problem is China don't want to be friends with us, bro.
He's not trying to be friends. He's trying to keep the stock market going while he limits their power. It's a chess play.
Listen to him talk about it.
He has to play that game so that the stock market doesn't crash. Why China's not? What are you talking about? No, they're playing the game too.
No, they don't. They don't say warm, wonderful things about us. He says warm, wonderful things.
Well, he says that publicly. I believe that he has to play that game while limiting their influence, limiting their shipping abilities, putting tariffs on all their outside brands, forcing them to sell TikTok, which was a propaganda piece for them. Like, he's been doing a lot of things that limit China's influence and power in our country.
When he stops China from buying stuff in America, buying our land and buying our assets, then I'll think he's serious on China.
Okay, so we've talked about that in the past, though. He literally did propose legislation for that exact reason. But remember, he has to get this stuff. He has to get this stuff passed.
I didn't see any of that stuff. No, so we can take a look at it, but I didn't see him propose that kind of thing.
So the immigration proposals about illegal immigrants, only citizens being able to buy land, is a big part of that. So this has to be done in steps. Like he cannot just declare war on China.
I haven't seen that part of it. I'll have to look at it.
Okay. What I'm saying here is he can't just declare war on China. It has to be in small baby steps. Because this is a big ship, and if you try to grab the wheel and yank it all the way to the left too quickly, you're going to break the whole thing down.
Well, can I just
you have to make subtle changes to get this thing turned around, dude.
I just don't feel like there's any changes being made. Go ahead, John.
I'll just drop something in about China quickly. So China have just said China demands the US and Israel immediately stop military operations against Iran. Whereas a lot of people are saying, well, get stuffed basically from the US. So I saw earlier today, that they're supplying the chemical for their fueling of their nuclear weapons that they were trying to develop in Iran, supposedly.
Well, of course.
So, they're the big player, aren't they? They are the ones that are coming
my biggest
at us.
issue. My biggest issue is our administration attempting to do things that are positive for our country, and constantly being undermined by soft penis retards in our government, in our political system, influencers on the internet who are just grifting for money, and a lot of foreign people that act like Americans. We're constantly being undermined, and most of what they're trying to do is make a positive change for our country, for citizens in our country, but continually being undermined by every retard that has an agenda. I'm so tired of it, dude.
I think also, guys, I don't agree with everything Trump says, but I would give my right hand for someone that is strong like that to take over the UK right now, because honestly, it is really bad at the moment. I mean, we've just basically agreed that they can build a super embassy in London that is right next to, a few meters away from important cable lines, and there's going to be an underground facility where they can effectively use it as a dungeon as well.
Wait, what?
Super embassy in London.
What
has agreed to it?
What is a super? We lost Shane again. What's a super embassy?
It's a super max. Not like a normal embassy. It's like enormous. That they've got all the facilities they want there. They've got all of the surveillance equipment. Everything that they want has been agreed by Starmer, and that's being built in London. So Starmer signed off on it last year.
That's weird. So it's almost like their version of Vatican City or something.
Yeah, essentially, it's going to be enormous.
Because tell me this, isn't an embassy basically a small piece of that country?
Yeah.
So
they're going to have a big chunk.
Vatican City is its own country set inside of another country. So basically, when you make a super embassy, you're basically making you're putting a small country inside your country.
Yeah, and we've already had scenarios where there's effectively sort of police forces around.
Guys, we're gonna get to the Boy Scout thing, but real quick, I want Shane to hear what you just said. They're building a super embassy. And we just lost Shane again? No, he's back somehow.
No, he's back. Yeah, he's back.
Wait, hold up. Wait for Shane, because I want to get his take on this. This is actually pretty crazy. Shane's coming back, guys. Hold up. He was there, and now he's gone. He's talking to John, but I can't hear him because he's not inside the system.
Yeah. I'm gonna send you.
I'm gonna refresh it. No, that didn't work. No, there he is. Shane, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, John, can you please explain the super embassy one more time? Don't take too much time. Just explain it.
Yeah, so Starmer's authorised that there's going to be a Chinese super embassy in London. I've just sent you the link on your private DMs on X, Brian, with an article.
Okay, super embassy. So an embassy, Shane, if I recall, tell me if I'm wrong, isn't that a small piece of the country inside that country?
Yes.
Like, so when I go to like the Chinese embassy here, I'm on Chinese soil.
That's correct.
So when you build a super embassy, you're basically allowing them to build essentially a city inside your country.
Yeah,
that's it.
And I understand all the embassies that the China's building in the UK are going to be right around all the military bases, and it's going to take up a bunch of the farmland. That's cool. Go for it.
Yeah. It's going to be great.
By the way, Shane, as much as Shane and I argue and stuff, he's totally right that our biggest problem for the future, even though we hate the DEI stuff and all the hyper divisive, diverse nonsense and made up propaganda, the real problem legitimately is China. That's like the problem. That's we no longer have a country problem.
And how much of China has created this problem that we have? And how much of Russia and China's hacking, how many bots are on all of our social sites that are getting us all worked up, right?
We don't even know.
Funding DEI? Were they funding DEI to begin with?
Wouldn't they be? Wouldn't you be if you saw it destroying a country?
Yeah.
Okay, so yes, and that's one reason that TikTok was like, Trump was like, okay, TikTok has to be an American company. Because when you look at the algorithm, it was quite literally pushing kids and teens, impressionable teens, into these life-changing, totally non-future-proof sort of methods and ideologies, while the algorithm in their own country pushed them toward family and working and stuff that helped. So they were going the opposite with us. They were purposely trying to, hurt the fabric of our society, for lack of a better word, with that TikTok. So when Trump did that, they were like, he's restricting freedom of speech. It's not restricting freedom of speech. You're restricting influence from an outside country.
Outside, yeah, right, exactly. Dude, when China stole plans from JPL in the 90s, when Chinese operatives stole plans in the 90s, I said to myself, okay, so we're going to do something about China, right? No, ignored them. That South Park episode where they talk about, hi, we're your friends, right? That funny South Park episode about China. That is so true. That is exactly what has happened all these years, and we need to wake up.
The biggest mistake the international community ever did, guys, was where they actually thought, do you know what? If we agree to bring them in to trade with us, that'll change their mindset. And they'll then basically think like us as a free Western civilization. Yeah. But no, they didn't. They just thought, we can make money off of this. We can get stronger. And it's all coming back to bite everybody in the backside now, isn't it?
Yeah, when Nixon opened up China, it was supposed to, we're going to introduce democracy. We're going to get cheap labor. We're going to have cheaper goods. It all seemed great right up until the communist dictatorship said, yeah, no, we're just going to get powerful from all this. And that's what they've done.
Yeah, and if you want to look at who the problem is the vast majority of the people that, the politicians that glaze for China and literally have relationships with Chinese spies are Democrats. Dianne Feinstein, Eric Swalwell. Like, just look it up. They're like, I don't know how in the world is Eric Swalwell still a representative? Like, how is he still allowed to be an officer, to be a politician in this country when he got caught with a Chinese spy?
They're easy marks, bro. That's what it is. It's just they're easy marks, and they go after whoever's the easiest marks. Listen, remember
though, like he literally was one of the leaders of the House Ethics Committee while he was cheating on his wife with a Chinese spy. Like, that's the most ironic thing. And now he goes online and he virtue signals and talks about Trump's negative language. Shut up, Eric. You are not allowed to have any more opinions on this.
Yeah, he should have definitely not been able to be a representative any longer. But, you're going to have this problem. And until we make some hard rules, I know that we can't shut China out completely, but we need to be very skeptical with them. We need to be very protective. We need to be very careful with them. I mean, spy balloons, guys, they were launching balloons to take pictures of our most sensitive during the Biden administration.
Yeah, that's just happened.
An act of war, bitches.
And his response time was epic.
No, you're totally right. That is an act of war.
It is.
How was that swept under the bridge, under the rug? I'll tell you how. Because there are a bunch of Chinese spies hanging out with a bunch of politicians that should have brought that up as a problem.
That's
which is telling me that a bunch of our politicians are bought and paid for by China.
Yeah. So they're lobbying behind the scenes as well to alter.
Maybe it's not really a leftist thing. Maybe they're using the leftist as the leftist ideology as a shield just to continually diminish our entire way of life and Western culture.
I would if I was them.
Think about this, and I'm sorry. By the way, I'm gonna go back to that, but this is look how big that super embassy is. My God, sorry, dude. But think about this, real quick. You can't take the United States with guns because behind every blade of grass is an American rifle. You can't take us by sea or air. We're too defensible. We're too big. We have too much power militarily. How would you take over a country that you cannot do via force?
Brian's 100%.
You would do it with attrition. You would slowly weave your way into every portion of that society, buying up institutions, buying up influence, buying up media, buying up every outlet that's propaganda, paying off and owning every politician that has any amount of power, and slowly weaving your way into the fabric of society. And the only way you could do that is by breaking down the fabric that made the country that powerful in the first place.
That's it.
And Brian's 100% correct, because I've watched Invasion USA and you have Chuck Norris. So there's no way that you can take over when you've got Norris.
Guys, we have Chuck Norris. What do you have? Look, I know Jackie Chan's cool, but he's no Chuck Norris. Okay.
I watched that film last week, and I have to say, every time I go back to it, it's the most unusual film because the villain on it kills people by shooting them in the bollocks. If you go back and watch it, he does.
That's right.
He does about 3 people he kills by that method.
That's right. Okay, now let's set up this Department of War clip again. Plus, I need my.
Oh, by the way, we're talking about the Boy Scouts, guys, not China.
Yeah, we're now we're going to talk about the Boy Scouts. We took a detour. Okay, and look, if you've been watching for a while,
that's why you love it.
We've told you that our show should not be called Unleashed or the BRANE Show. It should be called Side Quest, because our entire show is a bunch of side quests. We're on the main track, but we get distracted by the side quests NPCs. So I'm sorry about that. But that's just sort of the way we operate. Now we're gonna talk about the Boy Scouts. Okay. So we're gonna talk about this is Pete Hegseth of the Department of War, and he has officially put Scouting America on notice. If you don't remember, Scouting America is what their new name is. The original name was the Boy Scouts. Before radical leftist ideology sort of corrupted and took over the system that was the Boy Scouts and made it Scouting America, where they started offering badges for for gender identity and weird stuff like that. That was what it was. It was the Boy Scouts. And I'm going to let Pete tell you why the Boy Scouts is important. And then we're going to commentate on this. And
then after that, I'm going to tell you why the Boy Scouts ended up the way they did, which I know the answer to.
Okay, here we go. This is the Department of War versus Scouting America.
Century. Boy Scouts of America prepared over 130 million American boys to make moral and ethical choices, not just during their formative years, but for a lifetime as they grew into men. The first few words of the Scout Oath exemplify this. Quote, "On my honor, I will do my best to do my duty to God and my country." The Boy Scouts are embedded in our communities. They're sponsored by community organizations, service clubs, and churches. Many Boy Scouts have gone on to senior leadership positions in their communities, in business, in our nation's military, and as elected representatives in local, state, and national office. 6 Boy Scouts have been elected President of the United States. 11 of the 12 men to walk on the moon, Boy Scouts. Boy Scout training focused on responsible citizenship, character and leadership development, patriotism, personal fitness, self-reliance, faith, and a wide range of outdoor skills. It was a great program, and this department had a close relationship with the Scouts almost since its inception, as many troops meet on military bases. After 2012, however, the Boy Scouts lost their way, and a once great organization became gravely wounded. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI, crept in. The name was changed to Scouting America. Girls were accepted. The focus on God as the ruler of the universe was watered down to include openness to humanism and earth-centered pagan religions. Scouting became an organization that no longer supported and celebrated boys. They even welcomed the destructive myth of gender fluidity and transgenderism to infiltrate their membership. Along the way, standards were lowered and merit destroyed in favor of an insidious, radical, woke ideology that is anti-America and anti-American. The result, membership cratered. Americans didn't want this. In 1970, 10 million boys participated in Boy Scouts. Currently, less than 1 million boys and girls participate.
Wow.
Further, many of these community organizations that once supported Scout troops, they withdrew their support. And Scouting America, the parent organization, filed for bankruptcy protection. The changes Scouting America made since 2012 have also jeopardized the relationship with this department. And I was very seriously considering ending our support of Scouting altogether. We have a department to protect, after all. Beyond that, the policies Scouting America have in place violate President Trump's Executive Order 14173, entitled Ending Illegal Discrimination and Restoring Merit-Based Opportunity. But before making this big change, I decided to meet with the current Scouting leadership to convey our deep concerns. Based on that face-to-face conversation and subsequent conversations, Scouting America agreed to make several key reforms. And let me briefly highlight a few of them. First, Scouting America has agreed to comply immediately with the provisions of Executive Order 14173. This includes reviewing and replacing politicized, divisive, and discriminatory language throughout the organization, programs, and all publications. No more DEI, zero. Second, the, quote, Citizen in Society merit badge that encouraged Scouts to explore diversity, equity, inclusion, and identity. They always mask it under a name that sounds great, but it's doing something else. And then asks those Scouts to engage in activism on those topics. That badge has been discontinued. Third, Scouting America will modify its policy to make clear that membership will be based solely on biological sex at birth and not gender identity. That means that the application, any application, will have only 2 sex designations, male and female, and the application must match the applicant's birth certificate. Scouting will also make clear that biological boys and girls will not be allowed to occupy or share intimate spaces together, toilets, showers, tents, anywhere like that. Fourth, Scouting America will honor those who serve, by waiving the registration fees for children of active duty, Guard, and Reserve
Well, that's really
families.
good.
Should have happened a long time ago. Fifth, in partnership with the War Department, Scouting America will introduce a new military service merit badge. These and other changes that Scouting America's leadership committed to, in that room right over there, will hopefully result in a rededication to the foundational ideals that have defined Scouting for generations: duty to God and country, leadership, character, and service. However, as President Reagan famously said, trust but verify. This agreement is new, and the department's support for Scouting America is contingent on them making substantial progress toward reaching these and many other positive changes in the next 6 months. At that time, we'll vigorously review progress and decide whether or not to continue our support. The onus is squarely on Scouting America to deliver. If we're unsatisfied with Scouting America's progress toward and commitment to the agreed upon reforms, we will find them in violation of the President's executive order and cease our support. We hope that doesn't happen, but it could. Ideally, I believe the Boy Scouts should go back to being the Boy Scouts, as originally founded, a group that develops boys into men, maybe someday. There are also additional youth and boys organizations, groups like Trail Life USA and Awana clubs, that are already compliant with President Trump's executive order that the department may eventually support as well. But we're watching, and we're watching closely. We look forward to providing you with updates after our 6-month review, and wish the best to Scouting America.
that end with like the glitch effect, bro, is yeah, I'm sorry.
It's very sci-fi Chronicles.
Yeah, hold up, guys. Listen. I like everything he said, but like the end where he just signs off with a glitch effect and it says U.S. Department of War is extremely intimidating. like honestly,
Brian, right tone.
like that reminds me of like when they like the Empire in Star Wars.
The Empire.
Like let me just watch it again.
Review,
Ready?
and wish the best.
Just listen to the end. Watch the end.
The Department of War.
The Department of War. It's like a glitch thing. It's so like blockbustery.
Yes, Lord Foff says, would you like to know more?
All right.
I got to tell you, there's so much about this topic that's interesting. I have a really, really close ties. Not only was I a Cub Scout, but I participated in a board of the Boy Scouts when one of my sons joined. I was also the Eagle Scout coordinator in the military, and I worked closely with the Boy Scouts on getting awards done for Eagle Scouts, which is the highest rank you can be in the Boy Scouts when you become an Eagle Scout, which is a very difficult thing to do. And so it's interesting because, I thought one of the things they're talking about here with the Boy Scouts, and this has happened with a lot of things, like the Boys Club, used to be the Boys Club, then it became the Boys and Girls Club. Right now, in all fairness, the girls didn't have a club, so they brought it together to make it one. But there are Girl Scouts, so the fact that they tried to bring them all together, I think, is more indicative of what I found happening around 2014 when I participated in the Boy Scouts with my son, and I ended up on the parent committee for the troop, for the entire troop. And I didn't really intend to be on this committee, but I joined to help. And what I found is that of the 10 people on the committee, I was the only guy on it. The rest were moms. It was all moms running now the Boy Scout troop leader was a man, but people making all the decisions were the moms.
Right.
The dads, I just have to say, have lost interest. This used to be a dad thing. Dads brought their kids into Scouts, they went camping, but as we've become softer men over time, we have become more video game, TV centric, and we've done less of this outdoors thing. So men aren't as much involved in it. But, so what I found in this, when I was with this, is there was a lot of push to do Girl Scout and Boy Scout things together because these moms had girls and Girl Scouts, boys and Boy Scouts, and they were trying to bring the organizations together so that they could save time and do more things together. I don't think they intended for it to be bad, but I think over time, if you spread this throughout the entire United States, you start to see this pusher with, you've got more moms running Boy Scouts, then you've got this thing where, of course, this is your end result. You're going to end up with the Scouts of America, right? And aside of all the transgender stuff, which, you know, is probably not as big as it's become. There's probably less scouts that were transgender than we've seen. And then having also a lot of the and I'll let you guys talk in a second. A lot of the Boy Scout leaders end up, you know, doing bad things to some of the kids. It's gone in this more female direction. And I'll let you.
It sort of reminded me of remember that South Park episode? Like, yes, I raped someone, but now I'm a girl. So
right, yeah,
right. Yes, I killed that guy, but now I'm gay. Like, and like, so yeah, you're right. So there was a small percentage of bad scout leaders that did bad things. And you're probably right that our culture has shifted away from being like hardened outdoor men to being more softer video game guys. And I get that 100%. But we also had programs like the Big Brother program where people that weren't fathers can sign up to be mentors of kids. And you know what? That was a good thing. Kids need, especially like kids that have like, say, single moms, right? Let's say they have a single mom and they don't have a strong father figure in the house because of whatever happened. Who cares? You know, they got divorced, someone died. There's so many things. It didn't have to always be a negative thing. It could have just been bad luck. Well, those kids do need a strong male role model still. And that's why the Big Brother program existed, which was totally and utterly cucked by modern ideology. Because what they did was they didn't like even the verbiage. Oh, that's Big Brother program. Well, what about girls? Well, you know what? There needs to be a space for boys and girls. There need to be a space for both because they're different. They're different. In every way, they're very different, and they need different leadership. You can't just throw them all in a blender.
But they do things, Brian. It's not just that. Little boys should not be camping with little girls.
Right.
Okay. And that's
obviously
a big part of what Boy Scouts do is they go on outings and overnight things where you don't need boys and girls subject, especially some of these kids are, you know, they go up into teenage years. You just don't need that time. It's okay for them to be separate. They started admitting girls into the programs back in 2019, and in 2024, shocker, is when they rebranded to Scouting America because girls were involved. Now the Girl Scouts are still the Girl Scouts.
Well, I remember
boys
that though.
Are not joining the Girl Scouts.
Yeah. Boys can't join the Girl Scouts, but girls can join the Boy Scouts.
Very familiar American problem we have.
Yeah, Marcia, by the way, said, "Why would girls want to join Boy Scouts? We have Girl Scouts." Yeah, your was right, completely right. But I actually remember this when I was like 18 or 19. I remember the argument where the Boy Scouts were being sued by moms and girls, moms of girls, because their girls wanted to be in the Boy Scouts. They were being sued to infiltrate the boys' space, even though there was a girl space. And the reasoning was, well, the Girl Scouts, they do stuff that is very girl-centric, but my girl wants to do something. You know what? That's your problem. Stop invading the space. Just like, look, and I'll say it, I have my biggest problem with the transgender stuff is how it's always the bigger, stronger male to female girl individuals joining the women's team and winning, beating up on them, winning the gold, winning first place. You never see it the other way around, right? You never see the girl to male, transition joining the men's team because she won't even get close to the top.
It won't work.
Right. It won't work for them. But they picked the easiest path to victory. It's not about their biology. At one point, they use it as a crutch. And so they invade the women's space and they take over. I have a problem with that. Just like I have a problem with women or girls invading a boy's space. Boys need the time to build camaraderie, to build relationships, to bond with each other, learn how to be men outside the pressures of also trying to impress girls and hormones and all that non-stuff. Thank you, Christopher. Fraternal lodges need to make a comeback. That needs to be a thing. Just like the Big Brother program, which is now called something else because of inclusive feminist nonsense. This is the problem. Kids need to have strong male role models, just like they need strong female role models. Just like girls need a strong female role model, a boy needs a strong male role model. And unfortunately, a large swath of our culture and our community have decided that fatherhood is not important. It's just not. They preached it since the 70s. They put it in music and movies and TV shows. They propagandize that strong women good, strong men bad. They propagandize that you don't need no man and you don't need a father. And they propagandize guys to the fathers, the potential fathers, that you don't want to deal with a screaming brat. You want to get your money and your hoes. You don't need to have a family. No, but that's what they've done. Like music for the last 50 years have purposely pushed the idea that fatherhood bad, motherhood good. And then they wonder why 70 plus
has been bad in a lot of those cases, which is why the music perpetuates that. But you know what?
No, hold up, bro. That's perpetuating. That's perpetuating.
It's true that the black guys growing up to make music had poor black father relationships
because it was promoted that way.
Perpetuating bad dad music.
Yeah, it's a perpetuating problem.
Yeah.
But it was before rap music. It was other forms of music that did the same thing.
Well, you know the reason why
70% of that community doesn't have fathers in the household. Then you wonder why they grow up and have problems. You need a strong male role model in your house.
But the problem is the reason why the strong male role model was destroyed was because the strong male role model was abusing his kids and wives for decades and generations. It's the way it's always been. The father led the home, but you know the rule of thumb was created for a reason, right? So that's how big the stick.
We always go back to these small use cases. That's not
That's not a small use case, bro.
No.
I'm telling you, in the 40s and 50s, if you didn't get your ass kicked by your dad and your mom didn't get beat, then you don't know.
Okay. Bro, you can't. Okay, utilizing bad culture from 100 years ago is not a good excuse for removing strong male role models.
I didn't say it was a good excuse. I'm saying it's the reason.
No, feminism is the reason. Not that. Feminism. Third wave feminism is the reason most of the fathers have been diminished in society. 100% feminism.
I wouldn't say that's
feminism that wasn't even voted by women, by the way. It was voted by men. Suffrage was passed by men, not women.
It was an overcorrection of what happened. Instead of recognizing the mistakes that were made and fixing them, they demonized men for a long period of time because of what happened. And the next generation who wasn't abusing their wives and their children were punished because of the abuses of the past generations.
Yeah, the next 5 generations,
forward.
Right.
And again, it needs to end now.
Right.
Again,
yeah, you're right.
Every time when I come on with a show with you guys, the thing that really annoys me is the fact that I really wish we had people in our government that were doing common sense things like this, because I'm so sick to the back teeth of all of this indoctrination and pushing this on kids. I was a cub. I was a scout.
You were a cub?
I was a cub, mate. Yeah. I was great.
And by the way, in the United over here, bears and cubs are very distinctly two different things now.
Oh, really?
So when you say you're a cub in Western in like California culture, a cub is a small gay man that enjoys the company of large hairy men.
Well, I don't want to tell you any more about that, mate. But clearly, Cubs was my indoctrination into that world. But you know, I grew up with it. It taught me how to act as a person, and I've grown up that way. I started off with the Cubs, and again, anybody who knows Cubs or Scouts, they lie to you. They basically go, "You're going to go camping. You're going to do rifle shooting." 2 years, I just learned how to do up a woggle, for crying out loud.
What's that? What's a woggle?
A woggle. So it's the thing that they tie the the scarf around. Yeah. So I went through it, and again, it was great. Like you said, it was great for bonding with friends that I was friends with for years, you know, until I moved out of the area. But like you say, in the UK, you had brownies and you had Girl Guides. You start in brownies, you went to Girl Guides. Effectively, it's the same thing. Cubs and Scouts for boys in the UK, and then they integrated it all in the UK as well. And again, it's no coincidence that you guys do it due to some DEI policy, and it suddenly happens in the UK as well, because it's all connected.
Yeah,
but
I think that white liberal women are like the bane of our culture's existence for the last 30 years. Like they've invaded male spaces. They've they've literally pushed the worst ideologies onto the last 2 generations, and it's always the white chicks, bro. It's always the white liberal chicks that are screaming the loudest. You know why? Because they have nothing to do at home. Because they're at home, their mans are supporting them, and they need to find causes to feel like they are like contributing in some way to society. So they're sitting there with their glass of wine, screaming about things that have nothing to do with them, and just ruining culture while taking SSRIs.
So what you're saying is there was a reason why in the 40s and 50s maybe women were being put in their place because some of the stuff was starting.
I didn't say that. Hold up. Wait. I did not say that.
Maybe there's a reason they put the jack back in the box.
I did. Wait a minute.
Can I also say
look, what did Sean Connery say? Remember that famous quote?
I've got you in my sights, Moneypenny.
No. He was a famous quote. He's like, well, sometimes you have to smack a woman.
Oh, Jesus.
I don't remember the exact quote, but he basically said, sometimes she deserves it. No, I'm not saying that. By the way, guys, I have a very strong-willed wife.
Yeah, his wife's smacking him.
My wife would beat the crap out of me. Hold on. Let me finish. The thing is, while I have a strong-willed wife, I also have a wife that knows when to be submissive, just like I know when to give her the floor. A marriage is a successful marriage is an equal partnership where all information is communicated freely and without judgment. And when both of you have the ability to put both of each other's first, if you are putting your wife first and your wife's putting you first, guess what? Everyone's covered. When you're in a real loving relationship where you're not trying to get over on your husband or wife, when you're not trying to gain more power in the relationship, when you're fine with sharing completely all the power and all the responsibility, guess what? You will die in that marriage easily in your 80s.
Well said.
That's how you have a successful marriage. Is you stop with the bullshit.
That's it.
Yeah.
Good answer. Good speech.
I mean, I was going to say to you as well, one thing I will say about Cubs and Scouts is the fact that they are very good at conning you into doing things. Because I'll give you an example. In the 80s, they said to me, on a camping trip, where they tell you, joining, you're going to go to a forest and you're going to explore. I was in a farmer's field with torrential rain, and they said, right, you're going to serve breakfast this morning and you're going to earn your serving breakfast badge. So they got me a box because I was short, and in torrential downpour, I was serving cornflakes to other cubs. That's menial labor, I'm afraid.
So your badge was unpaid labor, right?
Yeah.
I always wanted to do the Boy Scouts, but we had church, and church has a lot of programs for young boys, like youth group. There's male programs like men's discipleships. There's a lot of stuff that fill very similar roles as the Boy Scouts. Yeah. But I totally think that, first off, I love what they're doing. This is what I was talking about when I said they're changing the culture. You can't, just like the leftists now. What did the Marxists do in the 1956 when that Total War playbook came out? We can't take the United States by force. We have to take it by culture. We have to weave our way in and place people that are sympathetic to Marxist ideology into higher education and then lower education. And we have to slowly, over time, teach the next generation and then the next generation to become more and more like us. And they did that. And they started with feminism, and then the free love movement, and the pro-drug movement, all kinds of these movements.
So you're saying that all those movements were strategically done by
No, I don't think so.
Thank you.
I don't think it was strategic. No. I don't think there's some conspiracy. But I do believe that the easiest way to take over the West is to take away the values that built the West.
It's true.
Right? And so people that hate us have a natural need to undermine anything that makes us strong. And we have a lot of enemies because we have been for a long time now, the tippy top of the food chain, right?
No, everyone hates us, bro.
Everyone does because we're the
I've
tippy
been
top
all over the world. Everybody thinks America is a stuck-up bitch.
Right.
So just heads up.
So yes, so when those people gain power, they naturally undermine the values that made us strong. And a lot of those people are Marxists. And so when those universities get teachers from, Europe somewhere, they teach an entire generation of possible teachers their insane values. And those teachers go out and do the same. And over a period of 30 or 40 years, 50 years, now those teachers are in elementary schools wearing trans pins flags, rainbow clothes, BLM things, anti-American, anti-freedom, anti-men, anti-everything, anti-ideology that created the West, that built civilization, and they're teaching our kids. And we, because of feminism, and because of the Rothschilds, and because of Rockefellers, we have actually put ourselves in a position where we can't raise our own kids. They doubled their workforce while salaries stagnated, and we let them do it in the name of feminism. You don't have to raise your kid. You can have a career too. And now, over 30 years, they barely increase the salary until men and women have to both work in order to support a household. So what happens? Now your kid is going to school for 9 hours a day, being raised by someone else. And eventually that someone else is someone who doesn't have your values. Welcome to the end game.
Well, you're not. Go ahead, John. Go ahead.
Sorry, I was just going to say, to add into that, what you were just saying, we've just had recently the Labour government within the last 2 weeks have said we are going to make it legal for kids in school to transition within school, and the parents effectively will be prosecuted if they object to it.
Yeah,
that's where we are. So that comes into what you've said.
Right?
It's a perfect example of it.
Brian's not wrong. Everything he said was like right on the money. Like, if you want to talk about like the destruction of our culture, the way America's downfall has come is really the destruction of the family. And when you go back to, and I hear what he's saying about feminism and all this stuff, but I also felt like it was kind of unavoidable over time, because the real problem is that women didn't feel like they, especially if they weren't in great relationships or they weren't satisfied with their situation, they didn't feel like they had as good of a shake at life as men did. So you understand why feminism happened, but it was captured by it was captured.
It was co-opted, right?
It was co-opted, and so it became something else, and the loss of religion, I think, has played a big role in the loss of the family, the loss of God. I mean, Boy Scouts were based on patriotism, courage, self-reliance, and the belief in God. And we've lost that as a country. And I think as we go through this stretching period where we lose our ideology, countries like China, who strong fist their ideology and will not allow it to be stripped from them, are going to perform better because we are freedom and we are a democracy. And it's much more difficult to maintain your ideology in those situations.
Amen. Thank you for that. Let us know what you guys think in the chat.
You inspired me.
And in the comments. And don't forget to like this clip if you're watching it in archive. We're moving on. Real quick, Sean Connery in 1993 suggested that an open-handed slap was justified if a woman was hysterical or provocative. He said, I have not changed my opinion. I don't think it's that bad. I think it depends entirely on the circumstances and if it merits it. He said full equality means that a bitch can get slapped.
It's just a weird conversation.
By the way, I'm quoting John. I don't believe that. Okay, that's John Connery said that.
It's interesting when you have thousands and thousands of years where the stronger sex physically, the physically stronger sex is able to dominate the weaker sex. When the revolution occurs, things change. Like, I can't imagine striking my wife. Like, I saw my mom get hit. I experienced that. There's just no way I can ever put someone I love through that. And so it's interesting how times have changed, but it was nothing to smack a wife around back in the day. You know?
See, I don't think smacking anyone is a good idea. I don't understand how people justify physical violence because they're mad at someone. The only reason why physical violence should ever be justified is if that person was physically violent toward you.
That's why we have a Department of Defense.
When you react to someone's provocation, right, then you need to react on the same level of their provocation. You can't just, you're an idiot, then you just like shoot him in the face. That is an overreaction.
Right.
Okay? So if everyone just reacted to other people in the same way they acted, then I'm completely fine with an eye for an eye. But we overreact to everything, bro. And if I have one criticism on Trump, he does tend to overreact to things, at least on truth. And I don't know if it's part of like some grand scheme or if he's just screaming and yelling at 2 a.m. on the toilet. And I don't know. And the people that hate him will tell you he's just an old man yelling at the clouds. But then if you look at the track record, you go, well, it sort of works.
I think he's just trying to keep everything off balance. You know,
Right.
When you're in a fight, you want to keep your opponent constantly off balance. And I think that's what he's trying to do.
Right.
Constantly punching, counterpunching.
And I don't know. I don't know President. I'm not in his Oval Office. We're not friends with him. We don't know if he's just getting lucky constantly or if this is all strategy.
Brian, I really love your values and your views. Keep up the good work, but make peace with China.
Dude, I did read, I read his book, The Art of the Deal. And, people go, oh, he didn't write that. Ghostwriter did. First off,
it's his ideals.
First off, listen, I don't care. Okay. It's a good book. Whether he wrote it or not, he believes it. Okay. And I don't know if he did or not, but I gotta say, a lot of the strategies that he tends to utilize while running our country is pretty much in that book. It's sort of weird how he purposely will go into a deal in a way that's sort of aggressive and sort of makes no sense. Then he pulls back, makes buddies, and he goes for what looks to be a smaller portion of the pie.
It's a genius move.
When the whole entire time, all he ever wanted was the end result that he got. But he started with something sort of ridiculous and out there, and it forced people into an offensive posture where they had to give him what he wanted because he was acting so offensively.
Well, it's because he's got the biggest stick.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing. He couldn't do this if he was Czechia or Brazil. Like, this wouldn't work.
Right.
But because you're America, you can walk around and smack people around and then go, oh, I'm sorry, let's be friends. It works. And that's why it works.
Yeah.
Honestly.
But if you read his book, read, I'd suggest actually the audiobook where he reads it. Great. It's actually awesome. It's hilariously great. But literally everything he does is the same methods he utilizes and he explains in that book. I believe that if his opponents put their TDS aside for 1 second and literally read his book, they'd be able to dominate him. Like, because he spells out a lot of his methods in The Art of the Deal.
Well, they would call his bluff, but the
Right.
problem is they're afraid to call his bluff.
Right.
And that's all it is, and I can tell you, like, when he said, I'm going to take Greenland, I knew there's no way that guy is ever going to take Greenland by force. Not in a million fucking years. He's just saying it, but he said it and it freaked everybody out. And so he got what he wanted.
He might send it to
What's that
Starmer
comedian?
to read.
What's that comedian over there, John, that talked about the Greenland deal? I always forget.
Oh,
He's so good. He was like, someone in the audience was like, what do you think about Trump taking Greenland? He goes, well, what's the alternative?
Jimmy Carr.
Then he goes, yeah, Jimmy Carr. Jimmy Carr's like, what do you think about Trump wanting to buy Greenland? And Jimmy Carr goes, well, what's the alternative? He takes it?
Yeah.
All right, well, sell it to him. It's not that hard of a question. He goes, what do you guys have? Like 3 people with some practice guns?
Yeah.
Like, what's the plan?
Yeah, I don't understand, honestly, why the Netherlands don't just sell it and let I mean, those people would automatically be so much well off and richer than they are now. It's a matter of, I know it's a matter of national pride, but honestly, if he, and part of me wonders if he had come, this is the thing about Trump that drives me crazy sometimes. Like, I get that he's trying to get what he wants by saying things that are really outrageous. But would have the Netherlands maybe sold it to him had he come at it from a different way?
Just to correct quickly, mate, it's Denmark, that one.
Oh, I'm sorry, Denmark.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
maybe.
yeah.
This is the clip I'm talking about. Check it out.
Should you sell it? Well, you've got the alternative is they take it. So, I mean, no offense to your fine military. Okay, why don't we just have a quick game? I'm just going to ask a question. Hands up, who has a military where they can't even afford blanks, they've just got to say bang?
Oh, that's right. That's great.
Yeah, it's you, isn't it? It's fucking you.
This guy's funny.
Bang.
He is.
Yeah, Greenland, Scott. Well, you sold them the American Virgin Islands, right? Yeah. You sold them that, and what'd you get for that? How much? 25 million. For the British Virgin Islands. Okay, who's the negotiating team? What? We didn't put the fucking autistic boy on the case, did we? What the? So when was this? Was it 100 years ago? Even fucking 25 million is. You had a holiday home, and you fucking sold it.
And look, I fully endorse watching this guy. This guy's really funny.
He also did, I don't know if you saw it, but the comedy movie that came out last year called Fackham Hall.
Mm-hmm.
He wrote that.
I didn't see it. Yeah.
So it's basically a spoof of the famous period UK drama, that Tony Stark used to say Happy watched. I forget the name of it.
Bridge. Damn it. Something.
Not Bridgeton.
No.
Yeah. It'll come back to me in a few minutes, but it's basically sort of set early 1900s in the UK. And the UK was a pleasant, wonderful land.
Well, here we go. All right. So we're talking about Paramount versus Warner Brothers, or actually more like Paramount buying Warner Brothers. And for the longest time, we all assumed that Netflix had won that fight, right, Shane?
Yep.
They did their press release. They told everyone how great it was going to be. You're going to get a little bit of Netflix stock. We're going to split the company. You're going to also get Discovery stock. We're going to give you $27 a piece for every share. Blah 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 blah. Whole press release is like we had assumed that it was pretty much a done deal, and we're just waiting for the paperwork to get sorted out before they went into regulatory. Well, I remember us talking about this a month ago, and talking about how David Ellison was complaining to the news how the deal that Netflix landed was inside. They wanted Netflix. They weren't giving him a chance. Blah blah. Basically trying to complain about not being able to compete with Netflix because they won't let them. And what did we say back then? I think Shane said it. You know what? Just offer more money. So David Ellison must have watched that show because they did.
David.
David went and got a bunch of Saudis to back him, got a bunch of investment bankers, got his dad on the phone and said, we need $111 billion. And so they offered so much money that Warner Brothers had the fiduciary, I'm saying that word right? Fiduciary?
Yeah.
Fiduciary duty to consider that offer and then give Netflix 5 days to respond. And Netflix has 5 days to either match or beat that offer. Netflix took 5 minutes. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes, they said, too rich for our blood, guys. Good luck. Essentially.
Yep. There's a good reason why, too.
Okay, so can you explain it there?
Oh, yeah. So, listen, Netflix is a publicly traded company who is considered to have a really strong stock, right? Strong business, strong company. And when they initially came out to purchase Warner Brothers, it made a lot of sense. It was like, all right, well, we're going to get more content. We're going to make this offer. Do you know what their stock price did when they decided they were going to take on all this debt to buy Warner Brothers? It crashed.
Right.
It crashed so hard that it was down about 40 to 50% after that. Do you know what happened to Netflix stock price after they took 5 minutes to say, "Oh my God, thank you, Jesus. thank you, Ellison"?
It went up 10%, right?
It went up 15 to 20%, 15%.
Oh, I bought it right around the 8% mark, but yeah.
Yeah, because the Netflix stock is a strong company. And now they're getting a lot of kudos, pats on the back for being, considerate of their investors and for being careful. Well, we thought we had Warner Brothers at a good price and we were confident to have that price. But let me tell you something. They made a huge mistake when they decided they were going to go into debt to buy Warner Brothers.
Right.
And it crashed their stock. And I honestly think internally it freaked them out. And I don't think they're upset at all that they didn't win the deal to take over Warner Brothers.
Well, not to mention, Shane, that they had that Skydance paid, what was it, the $2.5 billion fee for letting him walk away from the Netflix deal, guys. So Netflix basically said, we want to buy it, and then someone else says, no, we're going to buy it, and we'll give you $2.5 billion now. I mean, dude, like they just made $2.5 million.
They just made $2.5 billion to walk away.
And there was a leaked tape of Zaslav talking about this new deal where he goes, guys, listen, he's telling his employees, listen, don't freak out or anything. The deal hasn't happened yet. There's two ways this works out. In the next 12 to 18 months, it goes to regulatory and we have new bosses. But it's also possible that it doesn't, that the deal falls through and we just get $5 billion for no reason. He literally said that. He's either way, it's a win-win. Yeah. And like, listen, I know I've glazed for Zaslav before. Okay, I'm a Zaslav fan, and the reason is because I believe that he does. All of his decisions are about making money, not about changing culture or preaching a message. Yeah. He just wants to make money, and I like people with that mentality because I understand it. I don't understand people that are in charge of businesses that have shareholders that don't want to just do one thing, make money.
Well, it's not just make money, Brian. It's make money and then grow that money.
Right.
You can make money by doing 1 million sequels of something and then destroy that franchise, and now you wipe your hands of it and walk away. That's not what he's doing.
That's true too.
So yeah, he wants to make money, but he also wants to
smart decisions,
success,
right?
Long term.
Which is why the second he got in there, what did he do? He axed a bunch of DC projects that he thought would damage the brand. Exactly. No, he axed them because he didn't want to pay the taxes. No, they had already paid the fee. They didn't make as much money back on the taxes that they saved, versus if they had let it come out and then sold it off. No, he didn't want to damage the brand. He knows that DC is a gold mine. Harry Potter, gold mine. The stuff the IP they own, gold mine. And you know who else agrees with me? Netflix and Skydance. Because they're paying the most amount of money ever in history to buy the library that Warner Brothers owns. Here's a comparison. How much did Amazon buy MGM Studios for, Shane?
I can't remember.
8.2 billion, right?
Okay. Yes, sounds right.
Right. $111 billion. Like, listen, guys, MGM was not an active studio, but they actually have more IP than Warner Brothers does.
A lot of content.
So people believe that the IP that Warner Brothers owns is more valuable at a 1-to-1 ratio than, and when I say more valuable, like 100 times more valuable, right, than what Amazon bought MGM for. And we thought that was a big deal back then.
Look, it's not just the content too. You remember they have a streaming platform as well with HBO Max.
Right.
And so there's more value also. It's not just the content. It's also the foundation of the business itself, which MGM had no foundation of their business.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
I think for me, it's, it's the lesser of the two evils that could potentially win out now. I was as soon as that initial statement was put out by Netflix, which I thought, well, they're getting it out quick to try and say we've won when there's a long way to go. When they initially did it, I was like, my heart sank, because I was like, well, I know what I'm going to get. The DC that I love, I'm never going to get from them. What does that mean for DC Comics if Netflix had got it? What does that mean for Lord of the Rings? With at least Paramount, I've got an inkling of a hope that something could come that's good, but it's a very small option, because again, the thing that I'm weighing this up on and whether there's going to be any good that comes from it, I'm going back to Star Trek at the moment, because if there isn't changes to Star Trek, then I'm going to be like, I cannot be confident anything good is coming from Paramount Skydance for all the other stuff,
Right now, so the reason I think there's a lot of politics on this topic, because what I'm noticing, and we're going to talk about the Campea crash out after this, but what I've noticed is that people that are have a left-wing ideology are dramatically overreacting to Skydance buying MGM. They're calling it the worst day in Hollywood history. Yeah, I'm not joking. Like super hyperbolic stuff, and they're making up problems where there are none. Now, here's the deal: would I have rather have Warner Brothers stay intact as on its own? 100%. I wish Warner Brothers was just Warner Brothers. It's one of the most storied studios of all time. But the second Ellison put his sights on it, that changed. Now someone's going to buy it. And it's a possibility that they offered so much that that they actually shot themselves in the foot. And if they don't get regulatory, it will actually set up Warner Brothers to never get bought out again, because now the price has been set so high. But the bottom line is, the second Ellison said, I want to buy Warner Brothers, and started this bidding war, it became a guarantee that Warner Brothers CEOs and board members had to legally entertain these ideas. Well, the people that are complaining about how the Ellison family and Skydance and Paramount are going to have too much control, monopoly, what they always leave out of the equation is the 42% market share that Netflix would instantly have if they bought Warner Brothers. If they bought Warner Brothers and then got access to HBO Max, they would end up with 42% of the subscriber base market share. If that's not a monopoly, I don't know what is. Paramount Plus absorbing HBO Max puts them in the double digits, right? But not anywhere near 42%. Paramount is a much, much smaller company. And they would be buying a much larger fish, which shouldn't physically be possible, but that's what they would be doing. Netflix is the tippity top. They're the number one. And they would be buying the number 3. You understand that? Netflix will be buying the number 3 platform. If you want to talk about monopolies, that is a monopoly.
Right.
And so I thought originally, we talked about this months ago, I said I think Netflix would have an extremely hard time getting through regulatory, because it'd be the number 1 company buying the number 3 company. Paramount is the number 12 company buying the number 3 company. Big difference.
Yeah, and they would have had a hard time getting through regulatory, especially with the Trump administration, because this is another part of the argument and what's going on is, a lot of people are like, well, Larry Ellison is a Trump, of course, the dad is a Trump creature, and which is true, but what?
Oh, it's true now. It wasn't true 8 years ago.
Right. So Larry Ellison, the Oracle co-founder of Oracle, what tech bro is not in Trump's hanging out with Trump now? And the reason why is because anybody who sees the person in power and you've got a business or you're going to snuggle up to that. It doesn't matter who you are, especially if you feel like you can benefit from it. Larry Ellison voted for Clinton. He was a Democrat.
Yeah, he was a Democrat.
And his son was a Democrat. And the reason that they're snuggling up to Trump is because they know that they're going to get favor. So while Netflix may not have passed regulatory for maybe because it's monopoly, maybe because Trump doesn't like him, which he doesn't, but he'll tell his FCC team not to do it. Ellison's going to get the pass because he's friendly with Trump and Trump likes him, and that's going to go through. It won't be a problem as long as they can afford it. So the political animus that's on this, and I know somebody brought up Robert Meyer Burnett, who we love, very good friend of ours. Him and I know we're going to talk about the Campea thing. They were on together yesterday. It has become a political thing, but what you got to understand is just because the Ellisons are snuggled up to Trump doesn't mean all of the content they're going to create is suddenly going to be like right-wing crazy, content. That's not, they're just playing politics. It's not their base ideology. Am I wrong here?
No, you're not wrong. Here's the deal. Like, only a fool would allow his feelings to impact his business.
Right.
And you know what? There's a lot of foolish people out there that the second they hear something about Trump, they lose their minds and they'll crash their business and they'll ruin their relationships, all because they have a negative opinion of Trump or his policies, and vice versa. Fools let their feelings impact their business. And you know what? I don't think Larry Ellison's a fool.
I think for me, you're right on that. And I think, again, I go back to the example, you would certainly hope him or someone in his circle is looking at the Star Trek IP at the moment and going, when you're talking about business, you're going, hang on a minute, you're just decimating a franchise that could be making us good money.
Yeah.
Get in there, get someone in there to sort that shit out.
And maybe it's possible that David Ellison will eventually get to Star Trek. I don't think he's gotten to Star Trek. I think there's all this other IP that he's working on.
And he's been trying to buy another studio. Yeah.
Until Kurtzman is out, it's not, there's going to be status quo.
Right. So one thing that I want to share before we end up this clip and go to the
there's something else I need to say too. Go
ahead. So let me just show you this real quick. This is someone made this graph. It wasn't me. Well, they said the Ellison's family potential business empire, and they list like Skydance, TikTok, Fandango, Rotten Tomatoes, DC, Oracle. Interesting thing about this is a lot of these things are repeating, like HBO Max. That's the same company, right? CBS Sports. That's the same company. TNT, TBS, same company, two different channels. So they want to list as many things as possible on here to make them look like this gigantic business. But additionally, they mentioned their franchises. Well, they just mentioned DC up here. Now they show Joker, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Flash, Batman, Superman as 3 squares. Same franchise, right? So the thing is this. If you did this exact same thing with this exact same methodology for Disney Plus, this sheet would be almost 12 times larger.
Oh yeah.
So if you want to try to paint this picture as like a monopoly, then please do the same for the number 2 streamer on the planet, Disney. and then ask yourself a question: how is Disney able to own Fox when their sheet would be 17 times larger than this?
So, yeah, it's just a political argument, bro. Honestly, go ahead, John.
Yeah, I mean, for me as well. I mean, it's really good news that there's hope. Whereas, as I said to you before, Netflix, I was like, it's dead. It's dead. I could see all the DC characters that I adore, the comic books that I pick up from the comic book store. I could see the way it was going to go. This at least gives me hope that there is some opportunity where I might get good stuff again, possibly. I love possibly.
Man, you transitioned me perfectly, because this is the last thing I wanted to talk about was, there's a lot of talk about, Netflix, Netflix was going to bring back seeing movies in theater. And the reason we needed Netflix to buy it is because they were going to do the right thing by the Warner Brothers content. And the problem you guys have here, and maybe I should save it for this clip. I'm going to save it for this clip. So are you moving to another clip?
Here we are, but hold up. You were just talking about something that's pretty important.
Well, they talk about it in the Campea stuff, so maybe I should
then you save it for that. So I'll follow up with what John said. Is one thing I noticed about David Ellison when I've been watching podcasts and various interviews that he's on.
Well, you should save that for the Campea section because
really?
that's refuting what they say, literally. So that's why I'm saying it, because I was going to say the same thing that you're going to say.
Oh, okay. All right. So we're gonna move on and go to the second part of this, but let us know what you guys think in the chat and in the comment section. Again, John's right. In our opinion, this was the lesser of two evils from a pure business perspective, and in no way do I believe that Netflix would ever have been akin to theatrical releases, because historically they've not given a crap. In fact, you're asking the people that murdered the theatrical experience to be the ones that somehow preserve it. Knock it off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Right. So that's next. Yeah. Let us know what you guys think in the comments in the chat. Moving on. All right. You're right. Yeah, you're right. There's too much to talk about in that clip.
It's almost the same topic in a way,
but one is going to sort of directly respond to Campea, and one was about the general news.
Yes.
You know. So that's why
it was nice to hear that Rob was talking about us the other day. We love Robert Meyer Burnett, even if our politics don't always align. He is a dear friend, and it just goes to show you don't have to believe all the same things in order to be friends with someone.
Was he talking about
guys? When we say dear friend,
about you,
dear friend, like legitimately, we love Rob. Like Rob is a bro. Like he's a brother. We don't always agree on stuff, but he'd be the first to tell you don't have to agree to be friends.
No.
Was he watching the BRANE Show? Was he, guys?
So we've seen him in the chat before.
No, he was talking about us the other day on his show. He was wearing his Terry Trek stuff and talking about. We did Picard season 3 with him and all that good stuff. Yeah, no, he's good people. Just a little different insight.
So on the flip side of that, ready? Let's talk about John Campea. And while we love Robert Meyer Burnett, who is a frequent participator in John Campea's channel, we've made it pretty clear over the years, at least I have, that I am not a fan of John Campea.
Not just you, brother. Me either.
The man crashes out over everything. He has turned the art of responding to internet trolls into entertaining levels of crash out. And every time someone criticizes him, he just loses it. And he's extraordinarily left-wing. He has an extremely poor case of TDS. And while he does attempt to contain it, because he doesn't want to split his audience, because he doesn't
want to destroy his audience completely.
You'll notice that sometimes it just pops up and he can't do anything about it. And I want you to know, John, if you ever see this and decide to copyright claim this because we're about to show your content, I want to remind you this is 100% fair use, and we will fight back. So he's also known to do that. When people criticize Campea by showing his own words, he will claim those videos and strike those channels. So I want to tell you right now, if you do that, John, we'll fight back. And we got nothing to lose, bro. So come at me, dude. Here we go. Here is John Campea talking about Paramount and Warner Brothers. Now, by the way, the stuff that Robert said about this was way more measured. And I have no issue with it. But John Campea is just wrong on so many levels. So let's just watch this.
Think with Rob, I think I just disagree on the central basis of his argument of Netflix being a better partner for the sake of the movie theater experience.
Right.
He's very knowledgeable. He knows a lot more about this shit than I do in general.
No, he's very knowledgeable. Yeah. I find it weird that he acts like he's friends with James Gunn. He goes, well, I haven't talked to James Gunn personally. No, of course you haven't. You don't have James Gunn's number. Bro, I know you've been around for a long time. You have 300 subs on YouTube. 300,000 subs on YouTube. That's great. We're 100,000 subs from you, and we don't know James Gunn, and we never claim to. Like, stop acting like you're some force to be reckoned with in Hollywood.
Probably interviewed him once or something.
Bro, you're a YouTuber. Chill out, okay?
It would have been funny if Rob would have been like, "Oh, I didn't know you knew James Gunn."
Right, because out of the two of them, I think Rob might actually know James Gunn.
Know James Gunn.
Right, because Rob actually worked in the industry, not John.
Right.
Anyways, and I don't want to continually
bash John completely.
I don't want to keep bashing John.
He makes it hard.
He makes it hard, bro, because he says things that are just factually untrue. He leaves things out of the context to sort of push this like ideology.
He fired our friend, and it still pisses me off.
Right,
okay?
that's that. Yeah, break it. That's the real breakdown.
I really don't like John Campea is because he fired Robert Meyer Burnett wrongly, and now he uses him to bring him back on his show
as a shield.
Feels like it. Yeah. To get credible information because Rob gives credible information. And Rob's cool about it because he needs a payday. I'm sorry, Rob. I know you need the payday, but John, you're shit. I'm sorry.
Arsehole.
Yeah. That, you know what? That's a big part of it. Because Robert is actually super intelligent, very knowledgeable, and very connected. And I feel like John uses that. And so, anyways, let's go back to this. Anyways, let's go.
You just said we weren't going to bash.
I know. I can't. God damn it. John Campea. Here we go. Oh, nice. Freaking muted. Of course it is. I automatically had his channel muted. My bad, John. Here we go.
War. But that, as we always cautioned everybody, it's not over. Paramount still has the opportunity to come in with new bids.
See, and that's right away. He. That's a lie. Because I can go back and show you clips where he said it's pretty much a done deal. So he never cautioned anyone.
No.
I mean,
kept trying to get Warner Brothers to cancel the Netflix deal, wouldn't do it. They did everything except increase their bid. And then finally, they increased their bid. And as we talked about on the show the other day, that meant that Warner Brothers was going to take it into consideration. And as we discussed yesterday, if they determined that it was a better bid, that would give Netflix 4 days contractually to match the Paramount offer. Yesterday we found out, just as the show was ending, Rob, you weren't here, but just as the show was ending, we found out that Warner Brothers and their board did indeed determine that the new Paramount bid was the better bid. Okay. That starts off a 4-day countdown clock for Netflix to respond and match the bid. They took 5 minutes and said, we're out. Netflix said, we're out. At this, we wanted Warner Brothers at what we thought was the right price. What you guys are now asking,
it's all true.
We don't believe makes financial sense.
Yeah, it's true.
And Netflix backed out. And that means, as is being reported in the Hollywood Reporter, Netflix backs out of the Warner Brothers bidding. Paramount now wins.
But what he's not saying here is because it's 5 minutes that they're extraordinarily glad and relieved that they were outbid because they knew they realized they made a huge mistake.
Right. Their stock had gone down like $25 or something like that.
when they go, oh, okay, we're out. I mean, when it's like that fast, you know.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? Like, you ever see those movies where they're like in a bidding war, like an auction? When I was like, 5,000, 10,000. When I was like, oh my God, can someone else bid? Please. That was a mistake. Anyone? This is good stuff. And someone's like, 30,000. Oh, thank God. Thank God.
The intern was in charge of the bidding keyboard that day.
Yeah. Well, Skydance and Paramount are the same thing now. Skydance popping.
Yeah. But it is easier. We know Paramount more, but Ken is right. It is Skydance ultimately making the purchase.
All right. So, well, the Hollywood Reporter says Paramount set to win. Like they
do, and also they talk about
the
Paramount. You know, they talk about Paramount's financial situation not being great, and I keep going. Yeah, Paramount's financial situation may be shit, but I promise you that Skydance has plenty of money.
Yeah. Skydance and Oracle are flush, so don't worry about that. All right, here we go.
Ted Sarando says it was always nice to have. Buying Warner Brothers was nice to have at the right price, but it's not a must-have at any price. We wanted it at the right.
Yeah, after our stock crashed and people were stressed out,
and it's going to stay there for years because of the debt.
Right. Right. That's so true.
Price, but it's not like we ever felt like we have to have Warner Brothers at whatever the price. And they simply thought, Rob, that what Paramount offered Warner Brothers and Warner Brothers determined was the better offer, they looked at it and said...
Sorry, side quest here. Rob's shirt is awesome. Do you see that?
Not flat, yeah.
We've checked. That's awesome. I want that shirt
Yeah.
so bad.
Warner
Silver-haired.
Brothers isn't worth that much.
Silver tongue.
And therefore, we're going to be responsible and we're going to say, we're out. Kind of like Shark Tank. They said they're out. Now,
Okay.
Yeah, and those guys who made the offers did the same thing on Shark Tank. They offered them 30%. I'm like, God damn, why did I offer them 30%? And then when one of the other Shark Tanks like, we'll give you 50, they're like, I'm out. I'm out.
I'm out. Yeah, it's all for it's all dramatic.
I think this is a very, very, you know me, Rob. I try to be realistic and yet still be optimistic and hope for the best. I am going to, in the depths of my soul, just hope for the best. I'm going to hope things are going to go well.
The depths of my soul. Oh my God, there's an ad.
There's an ad.
I'm sorry.
You know,
Of course, John Campea has an ad right after the depths of my soul. This guy manually placed an ad right after the depths of my soul. You know, one thing about John is he's a hell of a capitalist, dude. I'll give him that.
Oh, yeah, he is.
All right, here we go. Now, remember, he said depths of my ad, then he made you watch a commercial.
But the realist in me right now is this is one of the darkest days I can ever recall in movie history. Like,
Dude, that's the most hyperbolic statement I've ever heard in my life, bro.
Days in movie history?
So Netflix are the ones shutting down theaters, and we're still trying to pretend to people that they'd keep a 45-day window, but it's Paramount that is going to be.
Yeah, we're begging for him to keep a 45-day window. That's the most hyperbolic thing I have ever heard on YouTube, bro. I want to hear it again. Wait, look.
But the realist in me right now is this is one of the darkest days I can ever recall in movie history. Like,
could I be a bit of a cynic here as well and say maybe he was going to be able to get a lot of perk packages from Netflix that he won't be getting from Paramount Skydance?
Oh, maybe.
Yeah,
it's crazy. All right, so here we go. Moving on.
the pandemic shutting down movie theaters was bigger. That was bigger.
Oh, you think?
But honestly, other than the pandemic shutting down movie theaters, I cannot think of a darker day as a storytelling fan. Because, Rob, one of the things that we knew this back in October. Paramount announced back in October that their plans for HBO, most celebrated...
Go ahead.
Can I tell you when a darker day was? The day they released Dune on streaming the same day they released it in theaters.
Right, bro.
That was a darker day for the movie industry.
Day and day
because
release.
it meant theaters were fucked.
Right, immediately.
Sorry.
It's such a weird dude, man. Like, he gets so sensitive about stuff, and he like over exaggerates all these like
politics put into it.
That's why.
Can I say where he says about it's a dark day? What is it he says for storytelling? Witcher.
You mean
how's that for an example?
Right. Yeah, there's so many good examples. All right, keep going.
Name in all of televised entertainment, the most decorated, the most award-winning, the cream of the crop, the best of the best, the gold standard.
But just so you know, this is the same guy who didn't see it as a problem when Zaslav took the HBO name from HBO Max.
Oh, right. Yeah. He didn't complain about that?
No, he did not. Remember that? It's a remarketing. HBO is still going to be on the website in their own section. The same guy that's saying this right now, okay, didn't have an issue with HBO Max pulling the name HBO.
Calling it Max, which was stupid.
Yeah, super stupid. The best thing they did when it comes to the name is when they added it back.
Yes.
When it comes to producing the greatest television, Paramount's plan is to close HBO down and absorb it into Paramount Plus.
But yes, they're going to shut down the app, which is exactly what the fuck I would do. I still don't understand why Disney Plus has Hulu. Okay, I would absorb it, but I would brand every HBO product with the big HBO logo.
100%.
to make sure everybody saw it.
And by the way,
you don't hurt your branding.
No, you're right.
You're doubling up your streaming subscribers.
Smiles frown. I watched Campea because Rob's on there. He did say he hated it, and it was good that good thing when it came back after it came back. Okay, they barely ever mentioned it when they stripped that name. A bunch of other YouTubers covered it. He barely mentioned it. He said it wasn't that important. There were better things to talk about. When they did bring it back, he said, "Oh, I hated it. It was a good thing they came back," but he barely talked about it. Right. So it's very difficult for you to make this hyperbolic statement, about how it's the most storied name, and then not even cover it. Like, come on, guys. Like, I'm just saying, like, don't be a hypocrite, guys. Don't be hypocritical.
It's been confirmed again. Interestingly enough, Ellison plans to merge HBO Max into the existing Paramount Plus streaming platform, so HBO Max will be no more, creating one service featuring the libraries of both companies to make Paramount Plus. This is
go ahead.
And who's he helping here? Now, this is the thing that he is totally lost on. Who the fuck wants to subscribe to two different places? I got to subscribe to Paramount Plus, and I got to. So he's helping the customer by putting us all in one place. Perhaps we'll pay a little bit higher fee, right, to have more.
Yeah, but not double.
I'm not subscribed to two different places now.
No,
yeah, I don't like the fact that all these streaming services are buying each other. But you know what I also don't like? I also don't like the fact that all the streaming services are now charging $25 a month. Okay? So, like, from a completely consumer point of view, if you start merging these companies into, like, bundles like this, it's better for my pocket. Because I want to watch HBO content. And I want to watch Paramount content. And I don't want to pay twice. Like, that's just... Now, should they have maybe actually have taken Paramount and put it on HBO Max? Probably. That's probably the better play. Because HBO Max has more subs.
HBO Max is always, this is for me as a Brit, has always been that, like, prestige product. It's the, the Game of Thrones, the good dramas,
right,
that are on HBO. They
also have a lot of really bad Discovery content too, though. Remember?
Well, and you got to remember also Paramount Plus owns CBS, and so CBS is its own television. I know you got HBO's great television. I don't know if going to HBO. Oh, that's right, they own Paramount, which owns CBS. It might be a little tougher branding than to have a giant HBO thing when as soon as you come to Paramount Plus and you got this giant HBO tag. You know what I mean?
Right.
To me, it makes more sense.
Smile frowns in the chat said now they should change Paramount Plus to HBO Max. Exactly. Completely agree. And, Marsha here says why we stream hop. 100%. You're not saving any money anymore because, like, the only way to really save money is to cancel a service, watch what you got to watch, cancel a service, and then pick it back up when you have enough things to watch. It's actually maddening, the whole waterfalling effect that you have to do in order to not waste money. Because if I just continually paid for a service that had no value to me, then for months I'm handing over, $18, $20, whatever a month for nothing. And I haven't I'm not allowed to cancel Netflix. My family won't let me, which sucks. I really wanted to, but you know what? I canceled Peacock for like almost a year, and then I only got the smallest one recently, just to sort of catch up on stuff that I was interested in. Same thing with Paramount. Like I didn't reboot Paramount until Academy and Survivor came out. And for you, it might be other shows, but like the only way to really do this and support a platform and not waste a ton of money when you're a working individual is to waterfall the services. So it'd be a lot easier to not have to cancel and renew if you actually combine things. There's two services I've never canceled. Netflix and Disney Plus. Now, partly Disney Plus because they let me have like 5 months for free because their billing was messed up. But also because Hulu is included in Disney Plus. So I have so much on Disney Plus that I can watch, that my kids can watch, that we can catch up on old shows. When you have that level of content, then it makes it easier to justify the cost.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. But you know what? If Disney Plus didn't have the Hulu library, it wouldn't be worth it to me. It wouldn't, wouldn't be worth it for me. I don't want just Disney content.
I'm watching Scrubs at the moment. That's Hulu, isn't it? in the UK. That comes through the Disney Plus app. So that's
right,
the
same
first
over here.
thing I've watched.
Fox.
First thing I've watched on Disney Plus for a while. Yeah.
So what happened? So Disney bought Fox, got controlling interest in Hulu, and took all the Hulu content and also put it on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
So Paramount is buying Warner Brothers, right, and taking all the content. They're doing exactly what Disney Plus did.
Yeah.
Which is the reason why I still have Disney Plus. I mean, come on.
Can I ask you guys, because we got HBO Max coming in a few weeks' time in the UK for the first time, what's the quality like on HBO Max? Because the reason I ask it is because I've got Paramount Plus.
Very dark.
It's dog shit in the UK.
Yeah, no, yeah. We're gonna go back to this, but
I mean,
the quality on HBO Max, in my opinion, is not very good. I purposely, and we've talked about before, I use Keep Streams for that exact reason, because Keep Streams allows me to get the full quality. If I watch it on my computer, it's very dark and it's hard to see things. It's not very good quality.
I mean, Paramount Plus
on my TV.
Okay.
I think it depends on the TV. So I watch a lot of things on my computer, but maybe on your TV it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, Paramount Plus in the UK, a lot of it they still don't offer 4K. And
I don't.
I mean, Voyager as an example. I'm currently doing season 3 again. The quality's awful, and it always was. Yeah, but they've not done it. There's
get Plex. I'll give you my Voyager stream. You can get it in HD. All right, moving on.
I want to see 7 in 4K. That's all I care about.
Everyone does, bro.
It's from Paramount to make Paramount Plus more compelling for subscribers. Rob, they're killing the greatest name in television entertainment history.
God, this guy.
In HBO Max. Netflix was, of course, going to leave HBO Max alone to operate independently and keep doing their thing.
They weren't.
And they're shutting down HBO
Nobody
Max.
gives a shit about Max, bro. Nobody cared about Max.
It's so funny. Like, Netflix, we're going to let them operate independently.
No.
Then why are they buying it?
Yeah.
Like, it's such a silly thing. Like, they're gonna buy it and just let them keep working. What?
Let them keep losing money all on their own.
No, man, they were gonna slowly suck out all the IP into Netflix. Of course they were, until HBO Max was a shell. That's it.
They might have either do what Disney Plus did, right? I don't even go to Hulu.
No. Hulu's a shell. Like Hulu still exists, but it's just a shell, right?
But you just go to Disney Plus to get it all. You just go to Netflix to get all of your HBO Max content, or you just go to Paramount Plus to get all your. Maybe it still exists, but why the fuck would you go there when you can already get it here?
Right, you know what? You're 100% right. 100%. Netflix would have left them to operate independently, but also had another tier plan that was like $30 a month that gave access to the HBO content. Right.
Yep.
And you know what? That would have slowly turned HBO Max into a husk. Just an empty shell.
Just like Hulu.
Just like Hulu. I have not been to the Hulu website in like 4 years. Okay? Yet I watch all their content every week.
A couple of other things that we've learned in these reports. According to Bloomberg, Paramount intends to keep the executive officers and controlling sorry, I lost my place. And the controlling department presidents in place, which means Mike DeLuca, Pam Abdi, Casey Bloys, James Gunn, and Peter Safran.
Great.
So I know a lot of people.
By the way, great.
Can I ask a question on that?
Do you know why? Do you know why they're going to keep those people in place, Shane, John? I'll tell you why. Because they're making money.
yeah, and even if they weren't, my point is that they would have them in place for a certain period of time because it's transitional. So while they're sorting out and getting their ducks in a row for what's to come afterwards, they would have them still in their positions. So I don't understand how that's groundbreaking.
No, but the thing is, guys, like it actually makes complete sense from a business point of view. When Zaslav put the people in power, he did so because of their track record, and they have utilized that power to have two of the best years Warner Brothers have ever had. They have had really, really good couple years because of the leadership in place. It would make no sense to buy a basketball team and fire all your star players. Right?
Thought that if Paramount got Warner Brothers, that one of the first things they would do is because, David and Larry Ellison are little Trump bitch boys.
Here we go.
And because Donald Trump doesn't like James Gunn and James Gunn doesn't like Donald Trump, that...
Also, where is that information from?
Sorry, did Donald Trump buy HBO Max? I'm trying to figure out how that works.
I really want to know where this is coming from. He says that James Gunn hates Trump and Trump hates James Gunn. I don't know where that information is.
I've never seen it.
I've never seen it.
I mean, it's possible he does, but what's the point? So
what's
what
the
you're
point?
telling me is you're not going to work with Meta because Mark Zuckerberg goes to Donald Trump dinners? Like, is that what we're talking about here?
You're right. And then he acts like Netflix would have kept James Gunn around.
Well, he's pushing in his own political bias, isn't he?
Guys, if any studio had reason to get rid of James Gunn, it would have been Netflix. Because
James Gunn's the right guy for the position. So, and he's not going to. Let me tell you something. James Gunn isn't going to quit. And this is what they say in a second here. That James Gunn is going to quit, right? Just because Trump and Ellison are friends. That's the most insane, idiotic thing I've ever heard. James Gunn is doing a dream job right now with DC. Yeah. Him and Safran. There's no way he's just going to quit because Trump's president. And by the way, by the time the Ellisons have complete control of HBO Max, Trump's term is going to be almost over.
Right. There won't even be a Trump presidency. It's so crazy. All right.
A lot of people assumed, understandably so, completely understandably so, that one of the first things they would probably do is get rid of James Gunn.
Who assumed that? Who assumed that?
I don't know.
I've seen people online, doing the.
I've seen them say Netflix
about because I remember it. There's a few that have said, there's a Saudi connection with Ellison, so basically they want the Snyderverse back. But that's all a load of nonsense.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He's digging into that.
The Saudi princes want the Snyderverse back, so they're gonna.
I've seen that. Announced, people were tweeting as well because Snyder put up an image, didn't he, of Cavill or something like that?
Right, dude. Snyder always puts up some incendiary image to rile up his base when he's about to promote something that has nothing to do with DC.
Yeah.
No, but I also saw that Netflix and Zack Snyder are friends and they have contracts like 100%. Netflix is gonna get rid of James Gunn and hire him. Whatever, dude. Okay, bro, calm down.
Yeah.
A statement they have now put out, again, this coming from Bloomberg, they plan to keep DeLuca, Abdi, Blois, who is the head of HBO Max, so I guess they're going to just bring him over to Paramount, and James Gunn and Peter.
They're going to do the same thing Disney did with Hulu. Guys, this is exactly what they're going to do. Then you need to keep, that person's going to stay in charge because that service is still going to exist. Come on.
Crazy.
Come on, guys. Such a stupid thing to complain about.
Safran.
Yeah.
They plan on keeping them. But Rob, I was telling you this before the show started today. I have not spoken to James Gunn. Let's be clear.
Yeah, by the way, none of us thought you did.
Wait, let me say a second. I did not speak to James Gunn about what I'm about to tell you. No shit. You didn't think I did either, did you?
Yeah, right.
Can I just say
I haven't spoken to James Gunn just because, no shit. We don't think.
Can I also say, when you look at Rob there in those scenes, it's almost like his facial expression is, in his head, he's going, why the hell did I watch that last episode of Star Trek Academy? Why the hell, man? Why? It's spoiling my life, man.
He does have he has a very far away, distant look where he's like,
He's like, I'm still getting paid. I'm here.
Well, I'm the same as you, my friend. That show sucks.
It's going to take about 8 months to a year for this deal to finalize. It's going to take about 8 months to a year.
I think more like 18 months.
Yeah.
Sometime before the end of the year, I 100% guarantee. Again, I haven't spoken to James Gunn. I'm just telling you what I think. But
we know.
am 100% sure that before the end of the year, James Gunn is going to go to David Zaslav.
Okay, wait, stop. I want everyone.
He's 100% sure, bro.
Everyone in the chat right now, please mark this. I'm going to back it up 10 seconds. Remember what this man says, okay?
Receipts.
And said, and sure, I'm just telling you what I think. But I am 100% sure that before the end of the year, James Gunn is going to go to David Zaslav and say, it's been nice but there's no way I'm working for those guys. So
because they're friends with Donald Trump. If you didn't work with anybody who was friends with somebody you didn't like, that's not how fucking business works, man. I'm so sorry.
Can you just take this moment? Yeah. Everyone understands what that guy just said, right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So we need to start holding these freaking fake grifters' feet to the fire when they say stupid stuff so convincingly and it ends up being completely wrong. Instead of them incestuously propping each other up, calling each other good sources on things that they're always wrong about. Please.
Oh, can you please let me out of my contract? And I think David Zaslav will let him out of his contract. And then I think he's going to end up back at Marvel. And
yeah, but this is fantasy.
Zaslav, as you have said, is a businessman. So even if Gunn came to him and said that, you go, no, sorry, you've got a contract that runs to X date. You're staying. Get on with it. You know, that's what business people
James
do.
Gunn is a man, bro. He's not a child.
Right.
Okay. Also, James Gunn works with, what's the guy's Star-Lord? I'm going to forget his name right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm going to forget. Chris Pratt. He works with Chris Pratt, who is a devout Christian, outspoken devout Christian. Okay. Right wing, outspoken devout Christian, and they are good friends. And they probably disagree entirely on politics. James Gunn is a man, not a child. He's not an entitled child or a white woman with nothing to do during the day. He is a man, bro. And he makes men decisions, and his feelings doesn't get in the way of facts.
There was a time, guys, and it's crazy, isn't it, that you could actually go to work for a studio and work on a production. You didn't have to tell them who you were politically aligned with. You could just go in and you could do your job, and you could work as a team and put the best the best product out to the viewer. I mean, that's crazy talk, isn't it? You know,
even better, no one cared.
Yeah, no one cared. Exactly. Yeah, it's so funny when he goes, I'm 100% sure that he's going to go and get out of his contract and go back to Marvel. Okay, all right, well, you're dreaming fantasy world.
And he will become...
By the way, even if he left DC, I don't think he's going back to Marvel.
Kevin Feige's heir apparent to take over Marvel after Kevin Feige finally
He is literally fantasizing
That's what I think is going to happen.
He dreads dreams about
that I see happening here.
This week, we're hosting
a free...
another
freaking ad, bro. I'm sorry, guys.
Holy crikey.
God, the homeboy has a lot of ads, bro. Here we go.
Wait, James, I just can't imagine a scenario that James Gunn, because we all know how James Gunn feels about Donald Trump. Whether you think he's right to feel that way or whether you think he's wrong to feel that way. We all know how James Gunn feels about Donald Trump.
Have you ever seen James Gunn talk about Donald Trump?
Maybe he has. I haven't seen it.
I haven't seen it. Maybe he has. You're right. But it's not so prevalent that I've seen it. Meanwhile, we have actor friends and director friends who can't stop talking about Trump.
Once again, though, so what?
Yeah.
Like, you know, just if your boss is friends with the president, it doesn't mean that you quit your job, guys. Like, that's what little children do.
Right. It's very weird. That's children do that. Not adults. Children do that.
Yeah.
And Ellison's are Donald Trump's little fuck toys. So I just don't see any reality in which.
By the way, that's also a very recent thing is that they're friends with the president. They were Democrats 8 years ago. Like,
look, they're business people. They care about money.
Right.
They don't. There's
money.
Not a normal friendship. If they did something that pissed Trump off, Trump would throw him out and toss him into the wind. Yeah. Likewise, they would do the same. That's business.
It's money.
This guy, but I assume by his political alignments, he would be perfectly happy if it was Obama or if it was Biden, because then it falls in with his narrative.
Well, no, this is the same guy who got mad because people were calling him a social justice warrior, and he goes, "Yeah, so what? So what? I'm a warrior for social justice." And he lost his mind on stream, and then, because it was being clipped so much, he actually ended up deleting that entire stream because people were using it just to like clown on him. This is the guy, dude.
Stays. He's going to quit. He's absolute. I just can't see him staying. He's going to quit. And then just like when he left Disney, every single other studio is going to line up to offer him whatever job he wants. But I just don't see him staying, despite the fact that Paramount is saying they're going to keep him. We already know, Rob, that this is going to lead to Paramount has already announced they're going to do $6 billion in cuts. $6 billion in cuts, not $6 million in cuts, not
And
$60
Netflix
million
wouldn't?
in cuts.
Yeah.
How much of that is Paramount cuts?
Yeah.
First off, he has no idea.
Star Trek.
Yeah, he has no idea what cuts are what. And he does. And another thing too, Shane, let's say you owned a store and you sold men's boxers.
Okay.
And you wanted to buy the store next door that also sold men's boxers. Would you keep 2 of every position?
No, of course not. You'll get rid of it.
Right. You get rid of the excess. You would pick the highest. Hopefully, you would pick the highest performing person in that position or department or whatever, and then get rid of the one that doesn't perform as well. The whole point. You don't just all of a sudden just keep 2 of everything. That makes no sense.
Well, and these honestly, when and this, I think this number goes back to when Skydance bought Paramount. Is why he's saying this.
Yeah.
Honestly, these studios need to get cut down. They're spending way too much money, and I'm willing to bet some of that money also has to do with production costs.
Right.
So, it's not just, getting rid of HBO people or HBO stuff. He's kind of one-siding it here.
Yeah. By the way, Kenneth Ruggs is something good. One studio would line up to sign Glenn. There's 3 now. So yeah, he's like, we mean one of the 3 studios left. Okay,
Yeah,
sure.
that's true.
Not $600 million in cuts. They're going to do 10 times $600 million in cuts. And so a lot of people, obviously, at Warner Brothers, are going to lose their jobs. HBO Max is disappearing. It's going to be absorbed into Paramount.
This is all hyperbolic nonsense.
Whether DeLuca and Abdi stay.
Again, they never
I don't know.
said that HBO Max would be shuttered. They said it would be absorbed, just like Disney absorbed Hulu.
But haven't businesses, when they merge, they've trimmed the fat for decades?
Right.
How is this a new revolutionary thing? And again, as I said a few minutes ago, you're telling me that if Netflix acquired Warner, they wouldn't be doing exactly the same thing.
That's the dream he said at the beginning. He goes, well, if they are going to buy it, they were going to leave it totally autonomous, let it work on its own. That's 100% not true. No, they wouldn't. They would slowly, they would leave that service up to keep the subscribers popping, and they would slowly absorb the entire library the same way Disney Plus did to Hulu.
Exactly. That's his example right there. Someone, a company that supposedly he's got close connections to, have done just that. So how can you come to a completely different interpretation or a guess?
Yes, left-wing bias, bro,
what
because
we've
he
seen.
hates the Ellisons and he hates Trump.
Yeah.
By the way, Anthony says when R&B is on Salty Saturday, he's quite talkative. Here he doesn't say a word. He's not allowed to say a word yet, bro.
He's not allowed to talk yet.
He's not. The reason he's not talking is because he's not allowed. John Campea is his boss, not his partner.
Campea rules him, and Campea made sure that Rob knows that he's the boss. And when Rob was talking too much, he shut him down. So now Rob doesn't necessarily talk.
Now Rob just talks when he's asked a direct question.
That's right.
Rob, I was talking to a friend of ours today, and
Rob's
they
face.
had a really interesting thought. They think DeLuca and Abdi, and maybe even Casey Bloys, have maybe built a relationship with Ted Sarandos during all this process, and they may jump ship and they may end up over at Netflix. Now that Ted Sarandos has got a little bit of a taste of the theatrical movie business.
Fantasy.
And by the
You're
way,
living in a fantasy. Bro, this guy's just dreaming, bro. This is like hardcore leftist copium. It's so crazy.
Warner Brothers now has to pay Netflix $3 billion.
Yeah.
It could be anywhere between 3 and 5 billion, just to be safe.
It was
to be
3.
conservative.
I made a mistake earlier when I said 2.5.
It was already paid.
Sorry,
Oh,
it was
it was
2.8.
2.5.
Sorry, that's right. It was 2.8.
2.8.
And I thought it was Paramount that has to pay Netflix.
That's it. Paramount has to play. No, sorry, not Paramount. Warner Brothers has to pay the breakup fee.
Yes.
Because
No, but I think it's being reported on Deadline that Paramount.
Paramount will give Warner Brothers the money to pay them, but the contract is between.
I'm guessing everything I'm saying right now. I don't know.
So how the hell does it affect Warner Brothers then if flipping Ellison's paying the bill?
So Campea is like throwing out all these things that are incorrect, and Rob is like respectfully correcting what he's saying. And every time he corrects him, Campea comes back to defend his previous position.
How is Rob staying calm in that position there? You know, I respect that. Kudos.
Because Rob is a man, bro, and that's his boss.
Man, right. His feelings don't matter.
He's a man, and that's his boss. He's got to provide for his family, dude.
No. That doesn't happen.
And
According to Campea, you don't do that. You just step away. That's what you do.
Warner Brothers.
Right.
So Netflix now gets a $2-point-something billion breakup fee. And they're going to use that money to probably hire DeLuca and Abdi. And boy, again, we're not saying that will happen, but that is the one theory that my buddy floated. And I think that's probably not a bad theory.
Yeah.
And Rob, again, the thing that is really disheartening to me is
By the way, Paramount had to pay Warner Brothers termination fee. Paramount paid that. Warner Brothers didn't. Paramount had to pay.
Well, that's because Paramount made it a part of their offer that they would cover.
He's trying to keep like fixing it so that Campea doesn't get roasted in the comments, and Campea keeps going back to try to defend.
Back.
Yeah.
And so again, it's Warner Brothers that has
Rob
to pay
is trying to help you,
Paramount
bro.
is going to cover it.
Yeah,
so,
and they've already done it.
Yeah, and so that's been done now. So they're going to use that money, probably take it back. And again, one of the really, really, really big things, aside obviously from the disappearance of HBO, is, you know, Ellison, the deal to buy Paramount got finalized, got accepted in the summer of 2024. He took over the reign. They closed the deal and did the final after
we had this conversation
all the dotting the I's, crossing the T's. It was back in the summer of 2025 that even though they officially bought it in the middle of 2024, David Ellison didn't take over the CEO office until the middle of 2025.
So they announced it end of 2023. They actually got the sign paperwork 2024, and they didn't actually take over as CEO until the end of 2025. That's what he's saying.
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
Campea, dude.
Imagine building a website with AI.
That's what it is. Yeah. So what he's saying during this ad break that he just shoved in here is that it's going to take at least a year before they get control over Warner Brothers content and Warner Brothers decisions.
Yeah, it'll take time.
Yes. I think it'll take between a year and 18 months for regulatory to click and for them to be able to take the job as CEO.
In 6-7 months.
6-7.
They haven't done anything.
That's not true.
Other than
They just bought Warner Brothers, you idiot. What do you mean they haven't done anything? They just bought Warner Brothers. Isn't that what we're talking about here?
He's probably talking about Paramount.
very shrewd business move getting UFC onto Paramount Plus. I think it was an expensive move, but I think that was a good move. I do. But they have done nothing. We don't know anything. They have had 6-7 months to make announcements and whatever. They have the weakest slate of the year this year coming out. We haven't seen that they can even run Paramount.
Right.
Let alone run Paramount and Warner Brothers. And so, to me, this is an incredibly...
So that's not true either. Let me explain you guys numbers here. Paramount has actually seen roughly about... And I'm remembering. I wish I had the page. I don't want to close this because if I do, then it's going to shrink the window. It's the whole thing. But I remember it was 22 to 24%, somewhere in there, low 20% increase in subscribers since Skydance took over Paramount. Now, is that natural? Did Skydance have something to do with that? Maybe the UFC deal had something to do with that. I don't know who's responsible for that growth, but it's definitely grown. It's grown. It was a much smaller platform than it is now. It's actually overtaken Peacock when before it was trailing.
Dark day. Anyway, Rob, I've set the stage. I went through all the details. What's your impression of all this? What's your response to all of it?
Well,
so finally, after 11 minutes of nonstop Campea talking, Rob is allowed to talk. He talks for 2 minutes before Campea takes over again.
I love Warner Brothers. My first ongoing industry job.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Look, Rob says some great stuff here. You guys should go.
Back in
the one thing that I
1989
wanted to
was
say
I was
that
hired by.
I don't agree with Rob is that he basically felt like Netflix was going to be the savior of because lately Netflix has started releasing things theatrically. But what I wanted to say was what I believe is I think Netflix is pretending. I don't think they truly believe that the theatrical release is the way to go. And I think they're playing along to get along. And I do believe the Ellisons will embrace the theater experience more. And you've seen it on the podcast he's talked about, but there's no proof that Netflix is going to do anything other than what's best for Netflix's stock price. And that's streaming, not movie theaters.
Remember that song, Shane? Video killed the radio star. Netflix killed the studio star. Listen, Netflix is the reason streaming is so popular. Netflix was the first. They are the example.
And then COVID enforced it.
They are the biggest. Yes. And then COVID enforced it and made it guaranteed. So you can say that COVID killed Netflix theaters, but the theaters are already dying because, and not in small part, Netflix. Netflix only releases things theatrically in order to get them considered for awards. Netflix does so in a limited release as they can for as short a window as they can. And not to mention the head of programming there, I thought it was the CEO, one of their big wigs, literally said, I don't see why we would invest in theatrical releases when families want to watch it at home. He is a person who doesn't like the theatrical experience. Netflix would have... Yes, he literally said that. He said he doesn't like the theatrical experience, and he doesn't think families good. He doesn't think that's the future. Netflix would not have done anything good for theaters. It would have just been a continued slide down completely, the destruction of the theatrical experience. First off. Also, Netflix has never released a single one of their movies or TV shows on physical media. Outside of license. They have licensed some stuff, but they've never done it. They don't do physical media. They don't do theatrical releases. They are a digital streaming platform, full stop. Meanwhile, David Ellison has been on multiple interviews, multiple podcasts, where he's talking about making like special exclusive deals with theater chains, bringing back, the blockbuster experience and giving people tentpole movies. The guy is a 90s kid who has a resume on IMDb of movies he's quote unquote produced that are almost exclusively high-end blockbuster summer tentpole bait. The guy is basically someone like us. They love the big explosions and Van Damme and Independence Days and all that. And he has been trying to utilize his wealth and nepotism and connection to his father for decades to get as close to Hollywood as he can and become, one of those people, a producer. And he has done so. And now he's buying studios. So this person really does, in my opinion, at least according to what he says, and I believe him, he really does love the theatrical experience.
Yeah.
So the people in charge of Netflix have gone on record saying they quote unquote hate the theatrical experience and they think families don't like it and can't afford it. And on the other side, David Ellison says he loves the theatrical experience and he wants to bring that tentpole era back into the zeitgeist. Those are the two people that are actively having public conversations. Do you really believe that the one who's gone on record saying the theatrical experience sucks are the ones that are going to bring movies back to theaters?
Well, let me give you proof. So what did Netflix do? Here's 3 of the 5 movies they've released limited in theaters. 2 Knives Out mysteries, a limited 5-day release. on 500 screens before going to streaming. Okay, both Onions and then Frankenstein had a limited theatrical release, mainly in independent cinemas. Here's the deal. They didn't start talking about their plans to have a 45-day theatrical window until they started talking about acquiring Warner Brothers. And why did they do that? Because they didn't want the FCC to deny them when they made their offer. Yep. And they thought that they were going to kill the theater experience. Then the FCC wasn't going to approve it. So that's when they started talking about having a broader window before going to streaming. But the proof is in your actions.
Right.
Here are your actions. A 5-day window? Really?
5 days?
You don't give a shit.
Dude, K-pop Demon Hunter's got a 2-day weekend window.
That's what I'm saying. They don't care. They want,
and they only did it, bro, because they wanted to continue the cultural movement that was that show. They're like, oh, people love this, so we need to like get in there so that it can get approved. You know, it can get considered for awards and all that stuff. They don't care about theatrical experience. They just want to utilize the benefit that the theatrical experience gives you without the risk.
I wouldn't be. You know what the next step is too, and John, I'm going to let you take off here and say what you need to say. But the last thing I want to say on it is, here's what's going to happen next. We've subscribed to get content. Now we've subscribed to have to pay for ads and pick a tier. The next thing is going to be these new release movies that come out. We're going to pay an extra fee for those new release movies. I'm telling you, this is coming. You can watch all of our other Netflix content, but if you want to watch the new Knives Out mystery, you're going to have to pay an additional fee on our platform. That's what's coming next when they get a stranglehold. Go ahead, John.
Yeah, no, I can't disagree with you on that at all, mate. I think it's coming. I think greed is going to rule the streaming services. I think, as I said before, I think this is the lesser of two evils. The nonsense I've seen online of people just going ballistic about Paramount and Skydance picking it up it is off the chart. I just, as I said to you, just as a guy that just wants to see good stuff, I really hope that comes back, because you can have every streaming service under your brands as much as you like, but if they're all shit, you know, people are going to tap out. That's going to happen.
Right. True. That's true. And with that, we'll leave it up to you. What do you guys think in the chat and in the comment section? Thank you so much for giving us your opinions. And who do you think the lesser of the two evils was? We're moving on. Okay, so I got one more story, but before I did want to tell you, we are going to be going to the members section. Just so you guys know, the members section. Shane, can you explain?
It's been a long show today.
Yeah, it's been a very long show. I didn't realize how long it was until I just looked at the clock and I was like, holy crap. It's been
what happens when you're having a good time.
Right, it's been almost 4 hours. So we are going to go to the members section. Shane, can you explain what that members section is? What do we do in the members section, Shane?
Member section is a place where we go to talk about stuff that we aren't necessarily allowed to talk about out here. Mm-hmm. A little more risque. We talk about what you want to talk about. So the things that you bring up, we want to talk about. And so for the price of a cup of coffee, depending on where you live, you can join us in the member section, and you do so by clicking the join button or staying right here, and you'll be pushed on over or asked to join or whatever the deal is. And we would love to have you over there. We appreciate you supporting the channel.
Yep. Okay, so we got one more story to talk about while that timer is ticking down. We need to talk about who cloned. Seriously, who cloned? Actually, can I make this a clip? I should run. All right, Shane, who cloned Jim Carrey?
I don't know who's doing the cloning. I'm guessing it's the aliens. Maybe this is how they're slowly taking us over. What is it? The Solarians. I think the
Solarians. It's the reptilians. The reptilians that secretly live in the middle of our Earth are slowly cloning all the prominent, influential people to push a Solarian agenda.
He looks like a Solarian's hiding under his skin, honestly.
He actually does look like someone wearing a person's skin.
It's weird.
All right, so this is Jim Carrey on some red carpet somewhere. Who cares? Let's watch him.
You know, I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced it like crazy, but you know, it's then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead. And I made...
No, seriously, I'm dead. I've died.
Yeah.
Like, I've died.
For real.
I'm no longer alive. You're talking to a ghost.
Yeah.
I'm a corpse.
Mistakes, and I was like, I wrote it and I researched it and I practiced
Look at his
it
like
crazy, but it's,
movements are.
Yeah, then I watched everybody like talking 1,000 miles an hour up there, receiving their awards, and I was like, I'm dead.
It's someone that's watched him quite a lot and is basically mimicking some of his movements from the past. But again, it's the eyes, mate. The eyes are the giveaway for me. There's just
something's going off. So he sounds like maybe he's high. No, I'm not joking. Like I know it sounds like a joke. I think he might legitimately be high, like on drugs, high.
He's gotten weirder over the years.
Yeah,
like,
bro.
He's stranged out. He's like a painter now. Like that's what he does. He paints.
And I think he's gotten a facelift. I think he got a facelift.
Yep, several facelifts. Something going on there. He's got like Jack Nicholson Joker shit facelift going on there.
And I think he's taking like SSRIs, which is like the SSRIs. What are they called? Like those inhibitors that like help you with anxiety and depression and all that. Serotonin something inhibitors. A lot of like stay-at-home liberal Karens are just seeping with SSRIs. It seems to me like he is on some kind of serotonin uptake inhibitor, and additionally he's had multiple facelifts or some kind of work done that has changed sort of the way his face looked, but it makes him look younger, but not like in a natural way. The same way when women get plastic surgery, they often just look like giant lizards, instead of something like he sort of looks like that. Like it probably was good work, but even the best plastic surgery like can usually sometimes go too far and overdo it. Looks like a little mixture of that. He's high on some kind of antidepressant, and he's had surgery.
And they followed out his soul.
I don't understand maybe it's because I don't get it, but I don't understand the allure to facelifts and to getting all this work done that people do. I get why women do it because women don't want to age, but I don't understand men who are chasing youth. I don't get it because we don't really give a shit. We don't. We want to take care of ourselves the best we can, but stop short of like resculpting my fucking face.
Just a reminder, Sean Connery, who we talked about before, won Sexiest Man of the Year in his late 70s.
Well, because
but with no work done. It was just him.
You guys are going to be very disappointed with me next week when I come back all nipped and tucked.
All I'm saying is like there's a way to age gracefully, and I believe this for women and for men. But it's easier for men because men do age better than women do. No offense to all the wonderful ladies, it's just sort of the truth. But there's a way to age gracefully where you can age and take care of yourself. Where and look, I'm glass house, dude. I'm gonna take care of myself. But you could age and take care of yourself in a way where you look great for whatever age you are. And I believe that there's real expensive plastic surgery where you can chase like Jennifer Lopez. Look at Jennifer Lopez's late 50s and she looks great. I'm not going to lie. She's a beautiful woman. She definitely had work done, right? Part of it's her genes, some of it's her work. And you can spend a ton of money to like sort of subtly change things about you that keep you looking younger than you should be. But most of these people go way overboard. Because the image that you're looking at in the mirror is not the image that people see. When I look in the mirror, I see someone who does not look incredibly fat. And then I look at a photo of myself and I'm like, I am so fat. So I think that the same thing is happening when they look in the mirror and they go, well, I want to change this. Oh, this looks good. Maybe a little more on this side. And they keep going until they look like a mannequin version, a wax sculpture version of themselves. And it sucks because it happens so much in Hollywood, because Hollywood is so based on youth and how
they
well
judge looks. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
The other day, Halle Berry came out and she was like, when I turned this age, I stopped getting jobs. They would only let me play these roles that. And I'm looking at her, I'm like, what's going on? Like, what are you talking about? Halle Berry looks amazing. She looks gorgeous.
But she doesn't look like Halle Berry anymore.
Right.
No,
that's the problem. Like, she
Right.
was in a movie and I'm like, do I know that actress? And I'm like, oh shit, that's Halle Berry. And that's part of the problem with these surgeries, man. They just change the way they look.
It's like Erin Moriarty from The Boys. She was absolutely gorgeous, and then she had it done where she'd had where they suck
They
it
suck
in
out the
and
cheek
cheeks
fat.
are out. Yeah.
Hey, ladies, guess what? Men like the cheek fat.
Right.
Yeah.
Why do you keep taking it out? We do not think skeletons are attractive. Put it back.
They want the cheekbone.
Yeah. It's so weird, bro. She literally looks like a cancer patient now. And seeing her on The Boys, the last season of The Boys, I'm like, she looks like a cancer patient that is wearing a ton of makeup to look a little bit normal. When before she was a beautiful woman. Stop changing your body. Like, listen, if you want to change the way you look, work out. Don't go get plastic surgery. It's weird. It's unnecessary, and you're only doing yourself a disservice. So whatever's going on with this dude, I don't know.
Well, it's like that guy online. I think someone put it up earlier in the week, where there's a guy that's had so much plastic surgery done, his skin is like shiny. He looks like a Barbie doll, like a Ken.
Oh yeah, super high cheekbones. That's not too. They look like freaks, bro. Like, they don't look human beings. They look like
put them in the box.
Yeah, they look like something like a horror movie would think up as the murderer, as the serial killer.
You guys know what's crazy? They are doing pre-production for Sonic the Hedgehog 4, which Jim Carrey is going to be in. How does this guy continue acting in that movie?
I don't know.
I mean, he doesn't even seem like himself. It's weird, bro.
I don't know. All right, well, we got to talk about it later on. We're going to the member section in about 30 seconds. I want to say, John, don't forget to check out John's channel at Sci-Fi 79. The link is in the description. He does cover science fiction. It's that simple. Go check him out. You can also follow us at the various platforms, and we do have clips coming out through the week. We hope that you guys watch them. We're going to have clips that maybe you don't even see yet, stuff that we film outside of the member section, so check that out. And we thank you so much for becoming members. If you want to become a member, hit the join button bottom left, and I'm on the way out. You guys have 10 seconds to say goodbye. Go!
Love you guys. Thank you. See you next week if you don't see you soon.
Thank you all. You're all brilliant. Hope we see you in the members section. We'll see you. If not, we'll see you next week.